Okay. Hello. Hi there. I'm officially live. Hi, Rachel. I see that you're there, and I did see that your payment came in on PayPal. I didn't know that you got two Ventis. I just got the notification. I haven't actually looked at PayPal, but I'm gonna look at it now. Let's see what we got here. Yes, indeed. You did get two Ventis. All right. So let's just dive in and get started. I'm going to start off with Rachel, and anybody else who comes in, you are welcome to, order a tall, grande, venti. All those details are, of course, in the comments, or not in the comments, in the description down below. And yeah. Hi, Lewis Loveless. Welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome. Just got on, just getting started. That kind of good thing. So anyways, Rachel's first question is, because she ordered two, is she wants to know about her personal path and journey. And her second question is about her usual love reading. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. For Rachel, number one, let's see what she needs to know about her personal journey, her own path, what she needs to be doing. Let's see what we get here. Let's see what comes through. All right. How are you guys doing, though, today? It's Friday, TGIF. We're heading into the weekend. Next week is going to be, hi, Anise. Welcome to the live. It's good to see you, of course. Next week is going to be really interesting in regards to doing lives or readings, period, because, I've been staying, we've already got like two that flipped out, which I'll get to in just a minute for you, Rachel. But just a heads up for next week. So next week, I've been staying at my mom's right now, and there's a water pipe that broke underneath her bathroom. So someone is going to have to come in here and like literally tear apart the bathroom. They're going to have to drill holes into the cement in order to get to the cracked pipe, the leak situation that's going on down there. So because of that, we're not going to be in her place at all next week. They're putting us up, thankfully, somewhere in a different like apartment. So it's not like that's a huge big deal or anything, but things are going to be kind of an upheaval and kind of crazy next week. So I'm still going to be live on Monday for sure, because we're not going to be over there until Tuesday of next week. But hopefully it won't interrupt with things too much, and I can still get on here and do the live next Friday. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm more concerned about the internet connection in the other place as opposed to here. I just want to make sure it's good. So we'll see. Anyways, your necklace is so gorgeous. Oh, thank you. I think I got it in Vegas, actually, like several years ago. But yeah, I think I got it somewhere in Vegas. Okay, so Rachel, two cards for you already flipped out for your spiritual path kind of a thing. And I'm going to pull more cards, of course, for you. But the first card you got is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is about making a choice in confidence, basically. So it seems like maybe you are kind of at this crossroads right now. You may be kind of in this place where you're just trying to make a choice for yourself, for your life, for your own path, maybe you're trying to make the decision on the next chapter of your life and what it's going to look like, kind of a thing. It could be kind of like, what is your passion? What is your dream? What is your purpose as to why you're here on this earth, kind of a thing. So you could be kind of like going through some decisions right now as to exactly like what that looks like and how that's going to be. And maybe you've had some confusion or something surrounding this, trying to decide exactly what that's supposed to be. But this is about making that decision confidently. So if you've been a little lost, if you've been a little confused about what that personal path is supposed to look like, I do believe that you will find your way and that you will be able to make a decision confidently as to what that looks like. You also got the Wheel of Fortune, which is definitely about like good fortune, obviously, like good things coming in, good things happening. But the Wheel of Fortune, it's like a wheel. It constantly moves, it constantly shifts and changes, and it brings in like new cycles. So I feel like you're kind of headed into a new cycle in your life, that the wheel is turning in your favor and that the wheel is bringing in this brand new cycle. So it does seem like you're kind of like in this new beginning place right now, trying to make decisions confidently so you can head into this new cycle, this new season that your life seems to be headed into. But let's see what else we have going on dealing with that. Hi, Elizabeth. Lewis, I go out tonight. Will it work? Do you mean if you like leave the live and still ask a question? I mean, you can still do that. Like if you send in a payment and a question, I'll still do it whether you're watching the live or not. You can always watch the playback for it later. So yeah, I mean, if you're heading out tonight or something, you can always do that and watch it later. That's definitely an option. Let's see what else we have here for Rachel. We also have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is it's basically, kind of like slow and steady wins the race kind of a thing. And it's funny because most of the time I always think of like the Knight of Pentacles as like, being your person in a sense, like them coming in, but, they come in very slowly, but, steadily at the same time with security and stability and that kind of thing. So in a way, like this could, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we reconnect. I hope you guys can still see me and hear me because this thing is acting weird saying that my connection is unstable. So hopefully I'm still here and hopefully I'm still connected. Anyways, but I was saying with this Knight of Pentacles here for you, Rachel, that yeah, like the Knight of Pentacles, he does take action. He takes action like all of the knights, but he comes in very slowly. He does not come in swiftly. And the only reason why he does is because, he is stable, he's secure, he's very well grounded, all that kind of good stuff. So you could take this one of two ways. Since we are talking about your life path, this could be simply you. It could be a representation of you and you moving in the direction of your dreams and your goals. And, maybe you're just a little slow about it. You put a little extra thought into it, a little bit of extra care and consideration, that kind of thing. It could be that you just want to be like stable and solid and secure in making these decisions, which is totally fine. Or it could be your person is a part of this new cycle you're headed into, this new season, these new changes that are going on, and he could be coming in slowly as a part of it. So depending on what's going on, depending on what your situation is, I feel like it's one of those two things. I feel like it either represents you moving slowly towards your dreams, or it's him being a part of those dreams, slowly moving into this new cycle. So, take it as it resonates. It's, one of the two, I feel like, with that. But let's see what else we have going on here with your life path. But I want to ask something. I just don't know what. Okay. And you're very welcome, Lewis. I got one. I want to know what if Enrique stalks me and you're going to get, okay, sounds good. You're going to get a Venti. Sounds like a plan. I will definitely get there. In the meantime, I will keep seeing what's happening here with Rachel. All right, we also have for you, Rachel, we have the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is about walking away from things. It's about walking away from things that no longer serve us. You know, this unicorn has its back turned to all these different cups here. So I feel like in order for this new cycle to begin in your life, for this new season, this new beginning, whatever it is that's happening here, it seems like there may be something that you might have to walk away from, that you may have to let go of and move on from, basically. And whatever it is, like, I'm sure it's not going to be something that is, you know, technically important to you or technically that you care about. I feel like it's something that's just simply not serving you anymore, something that doesn't help you, something that's not any good. It's just like extra baggage weighing you down. So, you know, it's like, kind of think of like spring cleaning or something like that. It's like you're going through your closet and, you know, you're trying to decide what is it that you want to hold on to, what you want to keep and what you want to get rid of. And, you know, a lot of the times we'll find clothes where it's just like, yeah, we'll be like, oh, I'm saving this so I can wear it whatever day, and whatever day doesn't come. And it just winds up being clothes that you wind up throwing away and trashing anyways. So kind of think of it like that, you know, just like purging extra crap that you don't need. And this could come in a lot of different ways. It could be a friendship. It could be a job. It could be not even necessarily something physical or tangible. It could just be like a mindset, a mind frame, some kind of way that you think or whatever. But it seems like there's something, whatever it is, that needs to be walked away from and be left behind in the past as you head into this new season, as you head into this new cycle, as I hit my computer. All right, let's see what else we have here. What else is going on for Rachel in her life path? Oh, we got one that just flipped out there. Oh, we got two that flipped out. Okay, so a part of, I feel like this is kind of tied to the Eight of Cups here. You also have the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is about being stubborn. You know, this unicorn is very fixated on these three cups here on the ground, and it's being offered something amazing. It's being offered something awesome in the fourth cup, but it's totally ignoring that cup. It's not really paying attention to it. It's more interested in those other three cups. So I feel like maybe this thing that you're supposed to walk away from, it could be those three cups. It could be that you're being stubborn about something that you might need to let go, that you might need to walk away from, because you are being offered something better, that there is something better coming into your life, or at least it wants to, because, you know, like I said, you got that Wheel of Fortune here. So things are turning in your favor. Things are going in the direction that you want them to, but you may have to maybe that's what you need to let go of. Maybe the thing you need to let go of is being stubborn. So being stubborn is a mindset, and it's not helpful. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. It helps no one. So maybe this is the thing that you need to let go of, is simply being stubborn. If it's not actually being stubborn, I feel like you might be a little stubborn about something that you do need to let go of. So, and you also have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is, you know, someone who's very logical, someone who has, you know, a lot of different thoughts and ideas. And I feel like you have a lot of those. I feel like you have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas about, you know, what it is that you're supposed to be doing, like what your life path is. I feel like you know what you're supposed to be doing. It's just a matter of doing it. You know, it's just a matter of stopping being stubborn and walking away from things that don't serve you. And it's funny because the more I see these cards come out, the more I kind of feel like maybe this Knight of Pentacles is you. It may not be your person. It could still be your person, but I feel like it might be you, that you just may need to take action. Even if it's slow and steady steps to get there, that you just may need to take action and start doing that. You just may need to just begin the process, and most importantly, begin it in confidence. But let me pull some oracle cards for you to see a little bit more as to what we need to know dealing with your life path. This is a perfect opportunity for that soul purpose oracle. I did a soul purpose reading not too long ago over on Instagram. So, yes, that's the only question you can think of. All right, that's cool. Hi, Seawin. I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen you. Good to see you, though. Happy Friday. All right, let's see. What else is going on with Rachel here? Let's see what's happening in her life path. What does she need to know? We also have united. You are aligned with your soul's mission. So maybe you need to stop second guessing yourself. Maybe that's part of it here. Maybe you're headed into a new cycle, a new season in your life path. Maybe you're already on the right path with it. And, you know, with you having, let me get those tarot cards over here again. Come here. Come here, tarot cards, because I know there's a point of reference I want to make here. Yeah, with the, I got cards everywhere here. I don't know where to put things now. I got to move my phone out of the way. But yes, with you being stubborn and possibly needing to walk away from something here, maybe you're kind of just like second guessing if you're on the right path or not, but you are. You really are. You're on the right path. You may be headed into like a new season with it, kind of like a higher level. And there's this phrase that I heard a long time ago, you know, new level, new devil. So it's like every time we go up in a new level in something that we're doing in life, there are going to be new challenges. You know, it's like you could stay in the same career track your entire life, and, you know, you could just simply like climb the ladder of success, you know, like maybe you start in the mail room or something, and eventually you go all the way up to like CEO, but there's a whole bunch of positions between all those, obviously. And it's like you're in that same career path, but there's new challenges that come with each job promotion. So kind of think of it that way. So I feel like you are on the right path. And considering it also, you know, it says united, you're aligned with your soul's mission, and it's like a picture of a couple. I feel like your person is a part of your mission. That, you know, you being united together with your person is definitely a part of it too. That it's bigger than just you. It's more than just, you know, like you doing something on your own with yourself. You know, I don't know if like marriage and family and all those kinds of things could be on the radar for you, but it seems like, you know, that may be a part of it too. You know, maybe a part of your mission is to be a wife, be a mom, those kinds of things. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with having those kinds of missions. As I almost drop all the cards again. Now I got to pick them all up, and that's way too many to take all of those. Okay. All right. I see there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat, but I'll get there in a minute. Okay. Anyways, let me keep pulling here for Rachel and her life path. See what's going on. We also have frequency shifter. You receive and shift frequencies of the universe. So it's kind of like you just being here makes a big difference because, you know, let's face it, at least here on Earth, the frequency, the vibes are pretty low vibe. There's not a lot of good things happening here on Earth. So it takes people who are filled with light and filled with a sparkle in their heart and filled with energy and joy and peace and all those good things to, you know, kind of raise those frequencies up and to shift it and change it and make it better. So I feel like you just being you, just being awesome and just being amazing and, you know, being yourself and being a presence, you know, here on this planet and with other people and that kind of stuff, even in small ways and conversations that you have with others, it makes a big difference. It really does. It makes a big difference. And we have Astral Traveler, that travels the universe defeating darkness. So like I said, I feel like you're here definitely spreading a lot of light because it mentions defeating the darkness, but you probably also astral travel a lot. So I don't know if you're one of those people where it's just like no matter how much sleep you get at night, you may feel like you're tired all the time. You could sleep for only 4 hours, you could sleep for a full 8 hours, you could sleep for 12 hours, and it wouldn't matter. You would still feel exhausted. And that's usually because you're astral traveling during that time when you're asleep. So it's like, even though your body is technically at rest, you're not really resting. Your soul, your spirit is still out there doing things like making a difference and all that kind of stuff. So most likely you're probably doing that a lot. So if you're tired, that's probably why. I know I go through that all the time. Like, it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much sleep I get. I'm like, why am I always so tired? It's just like a constant thing. So maybe that's an issue. I'm not even really sure technically how to fix that, because it's just like, you can tell yourself, stop astral traveling, and you'll still wind up doing it. So I don't know. It's kind of like, you're tired all the time. Well, that's probably why. I don't know how to tell you to stop doing it, because you're probably not going to stop doing it. I don't stop doing it with myself. So, but it's just like our souls have such a huge craving to like go out there and to be a light, basically, that your soul is probably craving that more than resting, which is probably why it winds up happening. Let's see what else we have here, though. We also have Peacemaker, channeling peaceful energies, perspectives, and solutions for Earth's inhabitants. So there seems to be a lot here about you kind of like bringing joy and bringing peace and bringing light to others. So I almost kind of see you as like this mediator of sorts. So it's kind of like, no matter what you're doing in your life, it doesn't matter if you're interacting with friends or people at work or family members or whatever it is, you're kind of like this peacemaker, like this mediator in a sense, just kind of, making sure everyone is getting along with one another and treating each other with respect and that kind of thing. So, I would assume probably like being around chaotic environments where people are arguing and at each other's throats probably doesn't make you feel very comfortable. You're probably someone who would rather make sure like everyone's good. You may even take it to extremes where you make sure everybody else's comfort is like first and foremost, even above your own, which can get into dangerous territory, because then it's like, we kind of wind up becoming the martyr and we're putting everybody else before ourselves, and we still have to take care of ourselves too. But yeah, it seems like you're someone who definitely wants to make sure that like everybody is good. Everyone's on good terms. This makes sense. Well, it's good. I'm glad it makes sense. And Anise has a cat named Candy. Aw. So cute. And we also have Wisdom Writer. Your words hold wisdom and light codes. Light codes, share them with the world. So you may have a little bit of an inner writer inside of you. So if you do have, thoughts and ideas and that kind of thing that you want to express and that you want to get out there in the world, it may be a good idea to put those thoughts down on pen and paper. And even if you don't know necessarily how to get that out or what that would look like, just start writing. I would say just start writing, whether it's, on your laptop or in a notebook or whatever it is, just start writing. You never know. You may wind up coming up with a blog, or you could wind up writing a book, or, so many different things. There's so many different ways to like get material out there and write stuff. So just start writing, I would say. You would rather be in peace than in drama. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me because that card is definitely there. No drama for you. But I think that's pretty much what I got here for you with your life path and what's kind of happening with that right now. But let me move this soul purpose oracle out of the way, and I'll get into your love check-in. All right, soul purpose over there. Grab these tarot cards and get them all shuffled up again. All right, let's see about Rachel's love life. Let's see what we need to know about that now. I'm just going to check on the chat really quick before I pull out cards for this answer. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oh, that's why we're talking about cats. We're talking about Seawind's cat. His name is Cappuccino. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. And Elizabeth, I got a Venti on Venmo. I want to know if Milton is dealing with a karmic. Oh boy. He told me last night he's talking to someone. I'm completely devastated. Okay. All right. I follow. I get you. Well, just because he's talking to someone, it doesn't mean that anything's going to happen. Doesn't mean that he's going to like go off and date that person or marry that person or anything else. So try not to get like too many steps ahead of yourself in the situation with stress and anxiety and worries and fears. Try not to let that take over. I know it's a lot harder said than done, or it's a lot harder to do than to say, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not easy, whatever. But yeah, like try not to get too far ahead of yourself in that, because nothing may even come of that, Try not to worry about it too much. But I will see what's going on in the cards for you when I get to your turn, Elizabeth. And you are a writer. Okay, that works, Rachel. Sounds good. All right, let's see what's happening for you in love. That's the next thing, your general love reading check-in. Maybe you're going to have like a new chapter in the writing department or something, since it does seem like there's like this new beginning kind of like in the wings for you here. Okay, so we have, well, gee, this already came out for you in the first one. So this may actually be verifying some of what I was talking about with the life path thing. You have the Knight of Pentacles coming back out again. And I remember saying during that question, I was like, okay, well, this could be either you moving slowly towards your goals and dreams, or it could be your person moving slowly but surely towards you. So I feel like this kind of confirms that as well. Maybe it's both. It could be that this card simply means both. You could be moving slowly towards your goals and dreams, and your person could be moving slowly towards you in your direction. But he will make it there. He will make it. Slow and steady wins the way. Wins the race. So he will get there. But I think that's really funny because that came out already. And now it's back. That Knight of Pentacles is like, I'm not done yet. I have more to say. Like, all right, Mr. Knight. Let's see what else we have going on for Rachel besides that Knight of Pentacles who really wants to be a part of things. We also have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is about, being stuck in a mindset, in a mind frame pretty much that is probably not so good for you. It's like this mental imprisonment kind of thing. This unicorn's hooves are all wrapped up and he's got this blindfold around its eyes and surrounded by swords. And the thing is, this unicorn could choose to step out of this little trouble he has himself in at any given point in time and just walk right out of it, walk away from all the swords, but he's choosing not to. He's choosing to stay stuck. He's choosing to stay in his own little mental mind frame here that is not so good. So I feel like You were wanting to know about your person and how he feels about me in this connection. Yeah, I'm working on that right now, which is funny because like I said, I was like that Knight of Pentacles popped right back out again. So obviously, that makes sense. But I feel like when it comes to the Eight of Swords, though, with this mental imprisonment thing, there you guys might be a little stuck right now. Now, once again, this could be on your end, it could be on his end, it could be on both of your guys' ends, but it seems like somebody is stuck in a mind frame that they shouldn't be, which, if you're stuck in a mind frame that you shouldn't be, it's probably not good mental stuff. It's probably more so about like fears and anxieties and worries and that kind of stuff. Things that you don't want to be, necessarily mulling over in your head constantly. And I know in the previous question with your life purpose, I know that it came out that you need to walk away from something and that you were being stubborn about it, or that being stubborn could be what you're needing to walk away from. And if he is tied to your life purpose, which I believe that he is based upon what happened in that previous question, I feel like maybe what you guys need to walk away from are these negative mindsets, these negative mental strongholds that, you, him, or the both of you share together, that you guys kind of need to let go of this, because you can't walk into a new season. You can't walk into like a better future being like this. That's just not going to happen. So you may need to, step out of that little mental prison there and let go of that mindset. I feel like that's, most of the time, that's usually the thing that needs to be let go of. It's usually more so a mindset than anything else, because so much of what happens in our lives starts in our mind. And we got another card that just flipped out. And we got the Seven of Pentacles, which is about you reap what you sow, basically. So, once again, we were just talking about that Eight of Swords there with the mental imprisonment kind of thing. And that's the thing, like if you're thinking negative things, if you're kind of dwelling in a place of fear and that kind of stuff, you're going to get not so great stuff coming right back at you. So you may need to switch that up, because the more good things you put out there in terms of positivity and the way you're thinking, the more good things you're going to get coming back to you. But if you're thinking fears, doubts, worries, that kind of stuff, that's exactly the kind of stuff you're going to see come back. You're going to see those fears manifest. And I highly doubt that that's anything that you want to do. And it's funny because, I know a lot of the times when it comes to, twin flames, when it comes to relationships and all that kind of stuff, I know a lot of the times people are just like, don't have expectations, have no expectations, none whatsoever. And it's interesting because I was having a conversation about that topic with somebody recently, and I I told her, I was just like, "You know what? I'm the kind of person where if somebody tells me don't have any expectations, have no expectations, I take that as expect nothing." Like, literally expect nothing, expect no progress, expect nothing to happen with him, expect to never hear from him ever again. That's literally where my brain goes. And by thinking that, that's an expectation, because I'm expecting the worst. I'm expecting for nothing to happen. That's still an expectation. So that's still like a bad mental habit that I myself need to let go of. And, I don't know if that's your kind of thing too, if, you kind of go to that same place, but I know a lot of people sometimes do. Even if that's not your thing, it seems like there's something that, a mental hiccup that needs to be let go of. So we really need to be careful about what we're thinking about, because if we're thinking we're not going to expect anything to happen, that's exactly what's going to happen. Then we're going to reap exactly that. So, if you want to have good things happen with him, it's actually okay to get excited about, like, you know, expecting, I guess you could say, a phone call or a text or something good to happen. Like, it's okay to get excited. It's okay to anticipate good things. I think that the most important thing is to not allow the expectation to control you or to rule you or to be like the final say. Because if for some reason he doesn't call or he doesn't text, you can't let that, lead you down a path of destruction and turmoil and disappointment. You have to be okay with if it doesn't happen, but you should get excited to think like, hey, it could happen. Like, that really could happen. It's a really, really tricky place to kind of like balance it all out. It's not easy. It's a difficult place to find a happy medium in, but it's definitely possible. But I feel like thoughts are a big thing here when it comes down to the two of you. It could be him too, he could be the one too, needing to watch his own thoughts so he knows how to like reap things better in the direction that he wants to as well. Because usually there's a lot of mirroring that goes on in these situations. So if you're struggling in your thoughts, he's probably struggling in his thoughts too. So we really got to think about what we're thinking about. It makes such a big difference. Our thought life really plays so much into so much more than we even realize. All right, we also have here the Lovers. Oh, that's kind of totally perfect. So I do feel like, there is a genuine, real connection here, though, between the two of you. It's like, here's, you and him, and it's like the big unicorn at the top, is basically like God. It's God just kind of smiling down on you guys and being a part of your connection. I see the Lovers as kind of like, the Holy Trinity here in a sense, like Father, Son, Holy Ghost in a way. But yeah, this definitely is a good connection. It's a solid connection. It's a divine connection. It has its hiccups and its issues, just like any other relationship does, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. It doesn't mean that, it's not real. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have like real, genuine feelings for you, because I feel like he definitely does. Let me pull some oracle cards here for you on this. I just got to move some cards around and not knock my drink down. I got my big chocolate shake. Oh, so good. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. And let me get some oracle cards here. Move things around. Okay, all right. We're gonna go with some journey of love here to see how he's feeling. See what's going on in your connection. All right, we have I remember memories and past lives. So I feel like, there's definitely a lot of nostalgia going on here. I feel like, once again, kind of piggybacking on the Lovers that came out, that you guys have been here, done this before, that this is a very long standing connection, pretty much. So, you guys have probably had many different lifetimes in the past together. Just another reason why this bond, why this connection is as strong as it is. But I feel like, that kind of emphasizes the fact that he's probably pretty nostalgic when it comes to you. And it's just like, I just had one literally just fall out right now. So I feel like even if you guys don't have, like, you guys could have a super extensive history in this lifetime, which I feel like could always be possible too, if you've known him a long time. If you haven't, I feel like, his feelings towards you is like, it's like one of those things where it's like the moment he met you, the moment he saw you, he felt like he knew you forever, kind of thing. It was like one of those kinds of things, like, I feel like I've known you forever. Let me get this one that just fell. we have, I regret letting you go. Moving on. And I got a fuzz here on my sleeve. So I feel like with this, I feel like this is almost more so towards like the past lives. Like maybe in the past, or past lives basically, I feel like maybe there were times where, he did let you go, where things did kind of like fall apart and everything, but I feel like he's trying really hard, especially in this lifetime, to basically make up for that, because you guys are like this perfect pairing pretty much. So, I feel like he feels bad about any kind of space that there is between the two of you, or any kind of like those mental hiccups. So I feel like he's recognizing that. He's recognizing those areas. But let's see what else we have. Oh, this one just flipped out. Partnership, it's always been you. So, that once again, that's kind of like the lovers, partnership there. He's always known it's you. I feel like he's known this, since the past lives, since the beginning that you guys first connected in this life. He just knows, like he knows that he knows that he knows that you're the one, is what it comes down to. Sometimes he may second guess it, and it may freak him out a little bit. Because that's just human nature, and kind of the way our mind frames will get at times. I already kind of mentioned that with the whole our minds being such like a huge factor in controlling our lives. But I do feel like he feels super strong, good stuff. That's for sure. He's your ex-husband. Well, yeah, then you guys definitely have a significant past. So, I mean, if he's your ex-husband, then I feel like this definitely resonates right here with I regret letting you go, because he did let you go then, or you let him go, or something happened where he wound up becoming your ex-husband and not your present husband, obviously. So there's regret. There's regret in that, in the fact that you guys are no longer married. But I feel like he wants to be, clearly, with that partnership. So yeah, maybe you're going to be one of those couples that, gets married, gets divorced, and then gets married again. That could be possible, but it seems like there's definitely something going on there. Anise, I'm feeling anxiety and fear lately, and a pull on my heart space. Aw, I'm sorry, Anise. We'll figure it out. We'll get through it. We'll all get through it together. Forgiveness. Please forgive me. Okay, well, once again, you mentioned he's your ex-husband, and I feel like, once again, whatever does happen between the two of you guys as to why you guys are no longer together, he wants forgiveness. I feel like he really wants to repair what has gone wrong. He wants to repair this. He's not thrilled with the fact that you guys are apart. He's nostalgic about your past together, past lives, and probably like your actual marriage in this lifetime. I feel like he's being nostalgic about that. He's remembering the good old days, like remembering that stuff, because he's feeling that partnership. Like he knew that you were the one, and now he's kind of turned you into the one that got away. And I feel like he doesn't want you to be the one that got away. He wants you back. And now I got that NSYNC song stuck in my head. I want you back. So yeah, he may be thinking a little bit of that. We also have, I'm lost without you, emptiness. Oh my gosh. Like there's so much yearning. There's so much yearning that's coming out of these cards from him. Like he's yearning for you, basically. So I definitely feel like that mindset thing, once again, it's definitely a huge part of what is going on here. Like maybe if you guys were able to fix your mindsets towards each other, you could repair your relationship, because our mindsets is once again half the battle. And I went through that recently with my mom, and that's a completely different type of relationship. But it was my mind that was tripping everything up going on with her when it was totally like not the nightmare that I built it out to be in my head. And we have, I can't stop thinking about you touching me fantasies. So I feel like he's definitely remembering and feeling nostalgic, not just about your relationship and your marriage and your times together as a whole, but he's definitely like feeling nostalgic for those very close, personal, intimate times as well. So, you know, kind of just the whole package. So, yeah, but that's pretty much where he's at. That's what he's feeling. Still definitely feeling that connection. So hopefully that helps you out a bit there, Rachel. But that is definitely an intense situation. But I know, like I said, I know with the previous question, there was a lot of stuff about a new cycle coming up for you, like a new beginning for you. So, you know, maybe like a refresher between the two of you could be in store. That could be a part of it. I mean, it's kind of up to you guys and what you want to work out between one another, but that's definitely a possibility. All right. So let me check on my phone here to see who's next, because I know we got several things going on. All right. I think PayPal came in first, but I'm going to check everything just to kind of see where we're at right now. No, I don't want you to track me in other places. Venmo, go away. That was weird. All right. So I got Elizabeth and Seawin on Venmo. Elizabeth, your payment came in first. And Seawin, you're after Elizabeth over there. Let me check PayPal really quick, see where we're at. Okay. And Anise. Anise, I think you're actually next. I think you submitted your payment before Elizabeth and Seawin did. So yes. Okay. So Anise, let's go ahead and check on your situation. I'm just going to scroll back up so I can remind myself what your question was. Da, 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 da. Okay, you wanted to know if Enrique stalks you. like I would assume like social media stalks you in a sense, because that's usually what it is most of the time. But let's see if he's stalking. Let's see if he's being the kind of creeper that you want him to be. The only kind of creepers that we want. We don't want like actual creepers. We just want like our person to be the one creeping. But let's see. About to have too many cards drop. We don't need all those. Too many. Let's see if Enrique is creeping on Anise. Let's see what's going on. Okay, first card out. We have the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is all about taking action. So my first knee-jerk reaction, gut instinct answer to your question, just on the first card alone would be yes, because the Eight of Wands is about action. And I feel like someone who is stalking you is taking action to do that. Like, obviously, if he wasn't stalking you, if he wasn't creeping on you, there wouldn't be action. That wouldn't make any sense. Like, what would he be taking action towards? Nothing. So, yes. So, short version of this answer would be a simple yes, he is stalking you, but he is taking the action to do so. But let me pull some more cards to see if we can get any more information on this stalking question. You're very welcome, Rachel. I'm glad I could help out. That's what I'm here for. Okay, let's see what else is going on with Enrique. He's stalking, we know that much. But let's see what else. We also have Judgment. So, you know, judgment is kind of about like making that final judgment call on things. And I feel like this is kind of like the motive, like the reason why he stalks. I feel like he stalks because he's trying to make a judgment call. Like he's trying to figure you out, basically. He's trying to like understand you better and assess things better so he can better decide what he wants to do for himself and his life and his situation, especially dealing with his karmic and that kind of thing. So I feel like he's trying to make like a better judgment call in his life and in his relationships, which is probably why he is stalking you, or at least one of the reasons, one of the many. Let's see what else we have. We also have, we have the Four of Wands. So we have, you know, 11-11 union. This is probably one of the happiest cards out of the deck, at least when it comes down to twin flame readings, you know. So I feel like that's another reason why he stalks you, is because deep down in his heart, deep down in his soul, this is what he wants. He wants this. He sees this when it comes to you. So, you know, it's like it's almost like you're a drug to him in a sense. So in order for him to like get his fix, of, you know, Four of Wands, 11-11 union, basically, you know, it's like he needs to take a hit. He needs to take a hit by like, you know, checking your social media or whatever it is. So, you know, that's kind of why he does it, because he does want this. But, you know, he's kind of also being a guy, and he's kind of being dumb, because there are better ways to go about achieving this and getting this. You know, instead, he could obviously just ditch the karmic and come to you. And that would make a lot more sense, rather than just, you know, him trying to have his cake and eat it too, kind of a thing. But he does want that, which is why he is stalking you. You know, he does see that, he does acknowledge that. I just feel like, you know, the only reason he hasn't done that is because he's trying to do both of these things and it doesn't work. And unfortunately, he's just going to have to like keep doing it to the point where he has burnout and he pretty much runs himself over with it. So he does want it though. And that's always available. Like 11-11, Four of Wands, union, that's always available. But he needs to find a better way to go about finding that and seeking that and getting that. Because what he's doing right now is not working. And we have the Four of Swords, which is basically like laying down your sword and resting. So I feel like, you know, this is kind of showing his pattern here. It's like, you know, he will hop online or something and he'll take action and he'll start being nosy and looking at what it is you're doing. And he'll try to make a judgment call about things and figure it out. He's wanting this. And then after he's done getting his hit, after he's done getting his little union fix that he's not really fixing, he'll just rest. Because that's what this card is about. It's about rest. It's about not struggling. It's about just laying your defenses down, like laying your position down and just resting and relaxing and chilling out. And I feel like that's what he winds up doing, when instead he should be motivated to change things and do things. So it's like, you know, the stalking in a sense is almost kind of, it's fruitless. It's pointless. You know, he can do that until he's blue in the face. The problem is it doesn't actually accomplish anything. You know, it's great if he, you know, looks at your stuff and he wants to know what's going on, because obviously he genuinely is interested and he cares, but it's not amounting into anything. That doesn't actually fix anything. He's a Taurus. I heard they are afraid of rejection. Well, you know, I think any guy could be afraid of rejection. I don't feel like it really matters necessarily what their sign is. I think it's more so about like what their past is and what it is that they've been through in the past, especially in relationships and that kind of thing. So, if he's had other toxic connections and that kind of stuff, that would make a difference, and that would definitely affect how he is, basically. So, yeah, I mean, anyone can be afraid of rejection. Oh, we got one that just flipped out. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is, basically a very authentic, real, genuine, true offer. It's physical. It's in the physical kind of realm. It's like the offer of like taking you out on a date kind of thing, or, taking your hand in marriage or something like that. So, that's basically what this card is about. So I feel like this is what he needs to start doing when he's done stalking. Instead of him doing this, like being like, okay, I'm done getting my fix now, I'm just gonna like lay down and chill and not do anything. I feel like he needs to be just like, okay, I need to get off my ass, I need to do something, I need to break up with the karmic, and I need to go over there and I need to say, hey, would you like to go out? Would you like to do something? Would you like to like be my girlfriend? Whatever it is, like, this is what he needs to do. So I feel like he wants to do this, but he's choosing wrong right now is what it comes down to. So, the choice is kind of up to him. He can always change his mind and start choosing better, but it's up to him. So, the best thing that you can do is pray for him. Pray for him, because you can't control him. Even God can't necessarily control him because of free will, but you can kind of like influence things and make things better, and kind of get the ball rolling and a little bit more in your favor by just simply praying for him. Is what it comes down to. Yes, it's so annoying not acting on it. I pulled messages from the Pretty Psych card, and I got message that he was going to propose. Oh, wow. Well, maybe one day he will. I mean, it may not happen this second because he's got other things going on, but that doesn't mean that, down the road that couldn't happen. Yes, I do pray every night. Yes, I know there's free will. Yeah, well, then, you kind of just have to keep doing what you're doing. So, you're already on the right track. I know it's not easy. It takes time. It takes persistence. Let me get some oracle cards, though, to see about this stalking thing here. Let me move these out of the way. Let's see. What cards shall I go with for the stalking? You know what? I'm still kind of feeling it on Journey of Love tonight. I don't know why. It's like sometimes I'll be just like pulling cards from a deck and I'll be like, this is the deck I'm feeling tonight. I don't know why. I just, boom, this is the one. But let's see what Journey of, oh, we got a card flipping out of here already. And I know you're going to have something to say about this one. Well, we already had Four of Wands pop out already here. And as for your oracle cards, you got the Union card from Journey of Love. So yes, union is heavily on his mind. The issue is he needs to like get out of his head, and he needs to start bringing this into reality. He needs to start bringing it into terms of action. But you do have another union card here. So you got double confirmation on that. It sucks because the more I try to disconnect from him, the more I feel his energy onto me. Aw, see when all the hugs and loves to all. Yeah, I think Anise definitely needs some of that right now, Siwen. So please send it her way. She's blowing up the chat here with tears. Which I understand. If I could, I would, it's too bad I'm not in LA right now. I know you're like in the valley. If you were, I would like drive over to your house and I'd give you a big hug. But anyways, let's see what else we have here for you right now. Oh, and I know you sent me a few voice memo things on Instagram. I haven't been back on Instagram yet, but I'll check it later tonight before I go to bed. I've had so many messages coming in at me from like other things. I had a random friend that I haven't seen since I was like 15, I want to say. Like like several days ago, like almost a week ago. She called me on Messenger. I didn't answer it, but she called me on Messenger and she messaged me and she was just like, "Oh, are you in Chicago? Let's get together." I haven't seen this person since I was 15. I was like, "What's going on? What?" I haven't responded to her, not because I don't want to see her, but just because I've been that busy. I've had so many things going on. Oh, I would love that. I know. When I get back to LA, we'll figure it out. We'll hook something up. We'll hook something up when I get back to LA. We'll figure it out. Which I know I'll probably be back, I'm thinking sometime in April, because Disneyland is reopening on April 30th. And I have tickets from before the pandemic started. So I need to go use my tickets and I'm not missing out on that. And I miss Disneyland. Like I'm not thrilled about having to walk around Disneyland in a mask. But at this point, I am so deprived from Disneyland, I will walk around in a hazmat suit. I don't care. Just get me to Disneyland. Anyways, let's see what else we have going on here in the Oracle cards for you. But yeah, he needs to stop. Like, this is great, but he needs to start doing the action for it. And as for your comment on his energy, because I know you mentioned that you try to disconnect from his energy and you just feel it even more. You can't disconnect from that. Yes, Splash Mountain is awesome. I also love Haunted Mansion and Pirates, like the classic ones. You gotta love those. But I was gonna say about the energy thing, you can't like cut that cord. You can't cut that cord from that person because they are your twin. The things that you should be cutting in terms of energy is anything that's negative, anything that brings you down, anything that makes you feel bad. That kind of stuff you can cut, you can snip, you can get it out of there. No problem whatsoever. But unfortunately, you can't cut that tie like to that person. It's just not going to happen. I think instead of like fighting it necessarily, instead of like fighting feeling it, I feel like it's better to embrace it, because if you embrace it, there's a sense of acceptance in that. And when you embrace it and you accept it, you can find peace. You can find a way to live with that and not allow it to like control your life and destroy your life, basically, if it makes any sense. Because you're not going to be able to get rid of it. It's just not going to happen. It's like you're fighting something that, it's like you're fighting traffic on the 405 or something. And I know if anyone will understand that, it's you. So, yeah. Yes, I cut a lot of people out of my life when I went through awakenings. It feels like I'm going crazy sometimes. I'm blessed to have teachers like you and Bridget. Oh, well, thank you. And Bridget's awesome. I've been so worried about her with everything that she's been dealing with her Lyme and stuff. And I know she hasn't like been as, like up doing things like she normally does, whether it's on YouTube or, I know she doesn't even post even over on Instagram as regularly as she usually does. I know she has the past couple of days, but I just hope she's okay. I've been worried about her. I know she's been dealing with a lot. I'm a toddler in this journey. Hey, you know what? We all start as babies, though. We do. We all start as babies, whether it's in this journey or whether it's in life. But you get stronger and you get stronger. And the thing is, like, this is going to sound really funny when it comes to the journey and spiritual warfare and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, if you take a look at a human baby, a physical human baby, a lot of the times they have no problems if you're trying to like, spoon feed them, the pears or the applesauce or whatever it is that they're eating with their baby food. But once you try and slip them some of those green beans or peas or something, bleh, it just comes right back out. They don't want to eat it at all. So it's like, you got to scoop it up and stick it back up into their mouth. You can't necessarily run on this journey yet, but hey, you're crawling. Crawling is better than nothing. Eventually you'll get to the point where you can, stand up, and then you can, kind of walk a little bit, and you'll get there. You'll get there. It's step by step. And even once you have been on the journey for a long time and you do have, more of that maturity, that doesn't mean that you never have bad days, because you still have bad days. You still have times that you struggle. The hope is you just know a little bit more better how to handle it based out of your experiences from the past, but you'll get there. You're strong. You can do it. You wouldn't be on this journey if you couldn't handle it. And I agree about the 405. No one wants to be on that. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We have, I swear it's true, truth. So yeah, all that stuff that you're feeling from him, all the energy and everything, yeah, it's true. What you're feeling is definitely true. It's definitely real. You're not just losing it or anything. He really does feel that way. I feel like he's having a huge issue transferring it from, how he's feeling and how he's thinking to like actually taking the steps to do it. And maybe we'll more so get into the answers with this when I do your personal reading, dealing with the karmic and everything. But I feel like there has to be a reason that he is like hung up on that and he's stuck in that, because that's what's tripping him up from moving forward. So there has to be like some kind of like comfort factor or something. There's something in him. I feel like it's not even necessarily her, but there's something in him that is keeping him there. Because if he didn't want to be there, he could just walk away, but he's choosing to stay there. So there must be a reason. There must be like something in him where he feels like he needs to be there. But we'll get into that later in your private reading. But yeah, he needs to take action is what it comes down to. Protection. I just want to keep you safe and warm. So he does feel protective of you. This is probably another reason why he stalks you. He probably wants to make sure that you're okay and that you're safe and that you're not in trouble, that you're not in any kind of harm's way, that you're doing okay, that kind of thing. So, I feel like he is checking on you from a good place. It's LA. There's craziness all over the place. So he probably wants to make sure that, you're not encountering any of the crazy homeless people or anything like that. Because, I encounter them there all the time. There is a guy who lives outside, obviously, on the street nearby me. And, I don't live in a bad area of LA. I live in Los Feliz. And, this guy is there, and every time I walk my dog, there he is, and he's punching the air and he's screaming. So, good times. But, maybe he's worried about you. He just wants to make sure that you're safe and that you're fine and that the crazies aren't getting to you, because they're definitely kind of everywhere. And we have forgiveness. Please forgive me. So I feel like he does feel bad. He does feel guilty that he has kept himself in this karmic situation that he's in right now. So he does want your forgiveness. It's just kind of like a side note. Drugs, maybe. Yeah, if she's providing him with drugs and he's hooked on drugs and he can't necessarily get off of it. And I think you've told me a little bit about this too in our other discussions, that he's done like a lot of harder stuff that could definitely be the reason why. So it's almost like his addiction isn't necessarily her, but it's probably the drugs, and she's just the dealer is what it comes down to. She's the supply. I can't wait to dance with you into eternity. And this card also says union. So like I said, union is definitely on this boy's mind. He's definitely thinking about it, but that's his issue. It's all in his head. He is not taking the actions. So yeah, like I said, he is definitely stalking you. So that is without a doubt. And that's just kind of like your extra details as to what's going on with him. But hopefully that helps you out a little bit for the time being until I get to your private reading later on this weekend. before my mom and I move into this other place and things get crazy. I know, union. I know, it's not easy. Okay. Let me see who's next, but hang in there, niece. I get it. I get the whole heavy heart thing. You know, my best recommendation is if your heart is feeling heavy, there are two things that you should do. The first thing is to watch a funny movie or a funny TV show or something that just makes you laugh. What you need to do is you need to laugh. You know, there's a reason why that saying exists. Laughter is the best medicine. Do something that's going to make you laugh. If you do that, then it's going to help lift your spirits. It's going to help your heart not feel so heavy. So do something that's going to make you laugh. Share like an inside joke with a friend. Like if there's a friend that you have, maybe you have some kind of stupid, weird inside joke that nobody else would get. Text that friend and be just like, hey, remember the time, blah, 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 and just like laugh about it. So that's my first suggestion. My second suggestion is do something to help somebody else. Because if you know that there's somebody else around you who is, you know, maybe going through a hard time and needs some help with something, if you're being there for somebody else and you help someone else, then you are taking yourself off of yourself, basically. You're not focused on your problems anymore, and instead you're focused on somebody else's problems. So that's my second suggestion. So help somebody and do something that's going to make you laugh, and that's going to help lift some of that heaviness that you're feeling on your heart. So hopefully that helps you out. I like to watch Nico Cotto Avocado McCangs. I have no idea what that is or who that is. Is that like a YouTuber or something? I have no idea who that is. Maybe something I'll have to look up. But if it's something funny, if it makes you laugh, go for it. You know, that's the most important thing. All right, back to my phone to see who is next. I know we got Elizabeth and Seawin still on Venmo. So I think that you guys are up next. Yes, that's all for PayPal right now. So Elizabeth, you're up next, my friend. All right, Elizabeth. I think I remember what your question was about Milton. The whole thing about him talking to somebody, but let me just scroll up and double check. Yes, you got a Venti on Venmo. You want to know if Milton is dealing with a karmic. He told me last night he's talking to someone and you're completely devastated. I don't even know what I just said. I'm making up words now. Okay. All right, so let's see about Elizabeth and Milton. If he's dealing with a karmic, if he's just talking to someone, or if he's talking to someone. Okay, well, Seawin, I guess, knows who you're talking about. I have no idea who this person is. I'll have to look it up after the live. I'll check it out. You know, so yeah. And I see another PayPal notification just came in, which I will check later. But let's see about Elizabeth and Milton. Let's see what's happening here. Is he talking to a karmic? What's going on in this situation? All right. So first card out is the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is basically about not giving up, is what it comes down to. So I feel like, you know, I know you're asking about this karmic, like this third party, like this other person that he may or may not be, that he may be talking to, but you don't know how far it's gone. You know, I feel like if anything, the Seven of Wands here is more so about you not giving up on him and him not giving up on you. Because that's what this card is about. It's about not giving up. And I feel like just because he's talking to somebody doesn't mean that you need to be devastated. It doesn't mean that you need to walk away. It doesn't mean that you need to give up, because talking to someone is hardly a commitment. That's hardly like anything, like, my person, for example, he tries to talk to people all the time. You know, he gets on the dating apps and then he complains about how he can't connect with anybody and how he doesn't like wind up kicking it off with anybody. So, you know, it's okay if he talks to somebody. In a sense, you kind of have to let him, you know, get it out of his system, let him do what he needs to do. It's fine, because you know what? At the end of the day, if Milton is truly supposed to be yours, he's going to come back to you anyways. It won't matter how many people he talks to. It's, you know, it could be just a conversation, just a fleeting thing. So I feel like this is saying, don't give up on this. There's no reason to give up on this just because he's talking to somebody. That doesn't mean that it's serious. You know, a lot of the times we build things up to be much more than what it really is in reality. And we just had one just flip out. And every time one flips out and lands on the floor, my dog is like, what's going on? What are you doing? He starts moving around back there. Okay. So we have the Ace of Swords, which is about a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of looking at the situation. So I feel like that's what you need. You need a new way of looking at the situation. You need a new perspective. Instead of being devastated, instead of being brokenhearted about him talking to somebody else, kind of just like shake it off of your back, you know? Like, be like a duck. So you got some water that just, you know, landed on your back. It's not the end of the world. Shake it off. It doesn't have to define anything. So, you know, just because he's talking to somebody today doesn't mean he's going to be talking to her tomorrow. You know, he's just the good thing is, by him talking to somebody else, is by the time he knows and by the time he realizes, like, hey, this really isn't going to click, this really isn't going to work out, then it narrows it down to go back to you. So that's a good thing, you know? But I feel like you kind of need a change of perspective in how you're looking at the situation. It doesn't have to be a big nightmare, you know? Last night, he told you he's talking to somebody. Next week, he could say, yeah, I was talking to this girl, but I really wasn't feeling it. And, you know, that situation is done now. That could easily happen too. And that's the kind of thing that you should be manifesting, not, oh, he's talking to someone, he's going to marry her now. Like, no, that doesn't mean that's going to happen. It really doesn't. It probably means he's talking to her because he's trying to figure out his life and trying to experiment with things here, but you know, that's not a commitment. Talking to someone is not a commitment. You know, you got to think of it from a guy's perspective. Guys like to play the field. So, you know, if like they talk to so many different girls, but that doesn't mean that they're going to like make a commitment to every single girl. You know, for guys, talking to someone doesn't mean anything. For girls, talking to someone means the world. Like, think about it, you know, like flip-flop. Like, when you're talking to a guy, like, you know, like Milton's the guy or whatever, when you're talking to a guy, it's like, oh, everything is him. Like, that's the world and everything. But for a guy, it's completely different. When a guy is talking to a girl, it's like, I'm talking to a girl. It's casual. It's cool, whatever. But he's definitely not like thinking down the road with her. So if he's not thinking down the road with her, you shouldn't be thinking down the road dealing with her for him. Don't manifest that. You know, that's a great way to get yourself into trouble. That doesn't mean that he has a karmic. You can totally avoid a karmic. Don't manifest a karmic. Sometimes people wind up manifesting a karmic, not because there was supposed to be one, but because their fears get to the best of them, and that winds up bringing the karmic in. And we have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is about, you know, moving quickly with passion and desire. It's about taking action, you know, that kind of thing. So I feel like that's kind of what he's doing right now, is he's just like taking action on his passions. And his passions is, well, you know, he's a guy, he has a penis. Their penis likes to chase things. That doesn't mean he's going to get that, but I feel like that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to follow his, southern region's desires is what it comes down to. That doesn't mean that he's going to hook up with her. That doesn't mean that anything's going to happen, but I feel like that's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to accomplish right now. Which once again, even if he was just looking for a hookup, that's not a commitment either. That's a hookup. And I understand if he hooked up with somebody else, that would still hurt, but that's still not a commitment. And that doesn't mean that that's even going to happen. But I feel like that's what he's trying to figure out right now. Like, that's kind of what he wants. He's like just trying to find some action is what it comes down to. And we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is someone who is thinking about love, that he's thinking about, those emotions and that kind of thing. But because it's a page, as opposed to the Knight here, who moves forward in terms of action, a page is just thinking about it. A page is not actually expressing any kind of love. So like I said, I feel like if anything, if he's talking to someone, he's looking for some fun is what it comes down to here. He's looking to get his freak on. He may be thinking about, love and how he would like that, but I feel like that's not necessarily the top priority, where he's just like, oh, I want to like express to her how I feel and tell her that I love her and blah, 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 and that kind of thing. Like, that's not what he wants to do. He wants to find someone that he could express that to, which I feel like is you, because I feel like he has that cup of love for you. But in terms of who he's talking to, I don't feel like he wants to, take action towards her and be just like, I love you, blah, 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 because I feel like he's just kind of like looking for someone that he can have chemistry with right now. But yeah, he should be looking at his phone and his messages with you and that kind of thing. He needs to realize that he already has that right in front of his face. It's like, hello. He doesn't need to go hunting in the opposite direction. And we have Judgment. So definitely a judgment call needs to be made here dealing with him. He's going to have to make a judgment call. He's going to have to make a judgment call whether he wants to pursue something with this girl for sure or not. But I feel like a judgment call hasn't been made yet. But he will. He'll make a judgment call whether he wants to or not. I think the best way to avoid this turning into a karmic is to not focus on it, to not, live in that dread and that fear where it can happen. Allow the judgment call that comes through to be the judgment call that you actually want, which is him basically saying, yeah, I was talking to this girl, we clicked, we had some things in common, but because of blah, 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 X, Y, and Z, it's not really going to work out. That's the kind of judgment call you want to have come out. So start thinking in those terms. Start putting that kind of vibe, that kind of energy out there. Don't let some outside situation have so much control between your own personal connection between you and him. So, let me get some oracle cards here, though, for you. I'm going to switch it up and get some Ocean of Emotion on this one. Let me just move some things out of the way. I'm going to put Journey of Love away for right now. If I can get it into the box. Okay. Come here, Ocean of Emotion. You're in the other box that I need. Okay. All right. Ocean of Emotion. Let's see how he's feeling on this situation. Let's see what we get here. Anise, I have another question. I want to know if he knows we're twins. Oh my goodness, Anise, you're just filled with questions. Well, that's okay. I'll circle back around when I get there. Let's see. All right, so back to Elizabeth and Milton. Let's see what else we need to know. How is he feeling dealing with this girl that he's talking to? Dealing with a potential karmic. I wouldn't necessarily call her a karmic, though, right now at this point. We have, I adore your innocence, naive. So I feel like with this card, basically, like, you kind of need to, in a sense, make yourself naive in the situation. And I don't mean that like be naive, don't pay attention to what's going on or anything like that. It's more so about not giving power to it. Don't let what's going on with him talking to somebody else, don't give power to that situation. I feel like is more so what it is. Maintain the innocence of your connection with him. Is what it comes down to, I think, with the I adore your innocence, naive kind of thing. So kind of like maintain that innocence between the two of you. Because when we're getting all twisted up in our heads, thinking like, oh, he's talking to somebody else, that's going to ruin everything, blah, 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 blah. That kind of like ruins the innocence of things. It takes away from that. So it's like, there's this beauty and this wonderful thing in childlike faith is what it comes down to. Because, if you look at a child and they believe in Santa Claus, right? And they believe that, Santa is able to visit all the children in the world in one night and deliver presents on Christmas Eve. And they don't think about all the details. They don't think about all the stuff of like, oh, well, some people don't have chimneys and some people don't celebrate Christmas and blah, 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 blah. And how's you do it all in one night? They don't look at like the scientific facts of it or anything. They just believe is what it comes down to. They don't doubt. They don't fear, they just believe. So I feel like you kind of need to do that dealing with him. Like, don't make it a nightmare situation if it doesn't have to be, which is kind of like returning to that place of childlike faith with things. Don't put a nightmare there where there isn't necessarily one. It would make more sense if like you knew that you knew that you knew, or like he came to you and he was just like, oh, I met this girl, we already talked, and now we're in a relationship. Then I would say, okay, you have something to be concerned about because he is officially committed elsewhere, but he's not committed just by talking to somebody. So try not to like make a big thing out of it in your head. Just have childlike faith from that perspective. Hi, hummingbird love. Yes, you may ask a question. I am doing paid readings only, just as a heads up. So instructions on how to do a paid reading is in the description, basically. Since I don't have super chats, but you are more than able to make a payment to either my PayPal or my Venmo, which once again, that information is there. It's all in the description. And you can choose from the 3 options that are there and submit your payment and ask your question. And I'll put you onto the list. All right, so let's see what else we got here for Elizabeth and Milton. We also have illuminate. Your light helped to guide me out of my darkness. So I feel like this card is kind of just like a reminder, in a sense, that you illuminate things dealing with him, that you make him feel good. So don't forget that. Just because he's talking to somebody else doesn't mean that you don't still light up his life. Things may not necessarily be where you want them to be with him just yet. Things may still be a process here, but that doesn't mean that you don't light up his life. That doesn't mean that, you don't make him feel good and, shine things brightly here for him, basically. Let's see what else we have. We have seductive. Every night in my dreams, you seduce me. So, like I was kind of saying earlier, especially with the which wands was it? The Knight of Wands that came out earlier, who's, all about like going after his passions and desires and that kind of thing and taking action. Once again, I feel like he's thinking with his dick is what it comes down to. He's just thinking with his dick. I don't feel like he's necessarily looking for like a solid relationship. I feel like he's looking to get laid is what it comes down to here. And I do feel like he does see this in you, but like obviously you guys must have some things that you need to work out between one another before that can happen. Otherwise, you guys would already be together right now. So he probably knows that and he's probably aware of that. So I feel like he's just looking to hook up with somebody, which is probably why he's talking to someone. But I feel like that's, like I said, that's different from making a commitment. Hi, Queen Bean. Welcome to the live. And we have nobody cares, isolation. So this could be another reason why he's talking to someone right now, because he just may feel alone. And obviously, this past year has been a time of isolation for all of us. COVID has made us all just a little crazy, is what it comes down to. So, he may kind of feel like that. He may be kind of like feeling the COVID cabin fever in a sense, and may just want to like get out and feel is what it comes down to, which is probably why he's talking to somebody. So, sometimes if, we haven't necessarily had that kind of connection in a while, we may just be willing to be desperate and settle for it anywhere, which is once again could be a reason why he's just talking to somebody. He's just looking to connect. And I understand it sucks and it hurts because you're right there and you're available and you want to connect with him. But he's got to be able to realize right what's under his nose. And I feel like they all go through that a lot. There's usually someone that's right there that's willing to connect with them, and they just let it slide right under the radar, usually because of their own issues and their own stuff that they have to work out. That's not your problem and that's not your fault at all. But he probably has some of his own things that he needs to work out so he can step up and actually take what is in front of him rather than seek for it elsewhere. And we have relaxed. I found peace again. So I feel like this is ultimately what he wants. He wants peace. He wants to feel relaxation. He just wants to feel good, like any of us do, like all of us do. All of us at the end of the day just wants to feel peace and wants to feel rest. So that's, once again, probably another reason why he's talking to somebody. I feel like him talking to someone is like him trying to figure himself out. It's like he's trying to figure out what he wants in his life and where he's going. And like I said, I understand that may suck and it may feel intimidating because you're right there and you're open and you're available to that for him. But he's got to be able to do it on his own. And the only good thing about him talking to somebody else is by him hitting every wrong situation. Like the best way I can describe it is imagine that he is in a room and the room is surrounded by doors and he's just like running around the room. He's trying to open all these different doors. He's running around trying to open every single one of them. And there's one door that you're behind and all the other doors are solid. They're like a solid wood door. And the door that you're behind is actually glass. It's transparent. He can see you. He can see through the door. He can see you standing there and you're waiting and you're like, I'm right here. this door is unlocked. You can walk right through it. And he sees you there. He knows that you're there. He knows that you're an option. He knows that he can go to that door. But instead, he's trying all the other doors. Well, here's the good news. All those other doors are locked and he can't get through them. So sometimes you have to let him run around the room and try unlocking all those doors. And eventually he's going to get tired. He's going to get frustrated. And then he's going to be like, I was so stupid. I could have just gone to that transparent door where she is at and it's unlocked and I can go through that door and everything will be good. So I feel like that's kind of like the equivalent of what he's doing, which is maddening for you because you get to watch it in the meantime, but it will eventually work out. He'll eventually get there. So you know, him talking to somebody else right now is just him trying to open a door that's locked and it's not going to work. And we have compassion. Thank you for caring when nobody else did. So I feel like once he does get to that transparent door where you're at and he is ready to walk through that door, he's going to thank you for that. He's going to thank you for being there and caring about him and being there for him when nobody else did, because you know he has been so busy running around trying to open these other doors and stuff, and he's probably not going to get anywhere. And at the end of the day, he's going to come to you and he's going to be very thankful for you because you have been solid and steady. You've been this rock when nobody else necessarily has been. You've been consistent. So hopefully that helps out and gives you a little bit of perspective on what's happening with Milton and the person he's talking to. I wouldn't call her a karmic. She's just a conversation is what it comes down to right now. And, you know, like I said, maybe a week from now, 2 weeks from now or whatever, she'll be a thing from the past. Some men just don't understand. I think a lot of men don't understand, period. There's like, it's just that thing, you know, men and women we just have issues understanding each other is what it comes down to. Okay, Seawin, I think you're next. Let me just double check here. But I do believe that you are next. Yes, Seawin is next. How does the guy on my mind think and feel about me? It's a new guy. Okay. Who happens to be a past coworker that I'm suddenly thinking of. Okay. Sounds good. Let's see how he is feeling about you. All right. I almost dropped half the deck. We don't need to drop half the deck. They all wanted to come out. Now I gotta arrange these back in here. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see what we get. Oh, Shadow, what are you doing? Say hi to the people. Say hi. There he is. He's like, here I am. Oh my gosh. Right off the bat, I got one that just flipped out here. It's like Shadow decides to perk up his head. And the first card out, wow. Well, Seawin, this guy definitely has positive thoughts towards you because you got 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands, 11-11 union. So this guy definitely sees you in a positive light. He definitely sees good things here with you. So that's a really great way to kick it off. So that one just came flipping out first thing, right off the bat. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Are you settled now, Shadow? Are you settled? You're so dark back there. You're like blending in with the chair. I see your little tongue licking. Oh my gosh. Interesting, huh? Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like that. And that's a strong card to come out first because not only is it positive, obviously, and good, but I mean, we're talking about like commitment. We're talking about like solid stuff right off the bat, which is a lot, especially for someone that is new, period. So I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, that's a good thing, you know, but it's like, whoo, wow, that's intense. Okay, let's see what else is happening with this guy. And we have the Knight of Wands. So I feel like he does feel passionate towards you. You know, once again, the Knight of Wands is all about passion and fire and desire and taking action towards those passions, towards those desires. So I feel like, you know, not only does he obviously have like this very strong, committed feeling towards you, which is crazy because he's new, but I feel like, you know, a lot of that is also coming from a place that he's very wildly attracted to you for sure. He has a lot of passion for you. And, you know, if he hasn't made actions towards you already, I feel like he's going to, because that's what the Knight of Wands does. He rushes in there with what he wants to say and what he wants to do. And, you know, he definitely seems to want to get physical from that perspective of it. So far, so good. So far, so good here. Let's see what else we get. And we have the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords is about conflict. So it seems like there is some kind of hiccup here. If he hasn't necessarily like taken action towards you yet, there could be a little bit of conflict going on. I know that you mentioned he was like a former coworker or something. I don't know if maybe that has something to do with it. If maybe he, you know, thinks it would like complicate something on the work end of it. Although I don't see necessarily why it would, because you said that he was like a former coworker. But you know, maybe the conflict is, you know, maybe he himself, you know, feels so intensely here with the Four of Wands. Maybe he himself is like, oh, I feel so strongly. And, you know, maybe that kind of freaks him out a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit of the conflict, is he's just like, I feel like I'm inappropriately feeling too much too soon. I need to back away, kind of a thing. I don't know. It wasn't between us. Well, I mean, the conflict doesn't necessarily have to be between the two of you, you know, especially if we're asking about how he's feeling. Now I got more cards that just want to fall out of absolutely nowhere. Come here, cards. Anyway, but yeah, the conflict doesn't necessarily have to be between the two of you. The conflict could be just like within himself. It could be his own way of thinking, just like his own mind frame. Because, like I said, you know, if he is feeling all this passion and all this desire towards you, and at the same time, like he's feeling like a lot towards you in terms of like, hey, I could see this going long term or whatever, it may be overwhelming to him. So he could be kind of just like a little scared of himself, a little scared of his own emotions, basically, which could kind of feel like a conflict inside of him. Like there could be another part of him that's just like, whoa, dude, slow your roll. Like, you shouldn't be feeling so much towards somebody so soon. So that could be the conflict. It could just simply be like an internal thing that he could be dealing with. And especially with guys, because if they are feeling like a lot towards somebody right away, especially if it's new, especially if, you know, there's nothing committed there, he's not going to want to show that right off the bat. He's going to want to play it cool, but he may not be feeling cool necessarily on the inside. He may be feeling a little frazzled. And we have the Four of Pentacles, which is about being greedy and guarded. So, like I said, I feel like this is like an internal conflict. And once again, he is definitely like feeling this good stuff towards you. You know, he's feeling like way more than he wants to be feeling. And I think because of that, he may be kind of keeping that to himself. So even though he's feeling like super committed towards you and like he could see the long haul with you, and you know, he sees you like it's like, hey, I just met you and I feel like you could be my wife kind of thing. And I feel like he feels like that's inappropriate in a sense. So instead, he wants to keep that to himself. It's like he's going to keep those emotions, he's going to keep those feelings to himself right now because he probably feels like it would be way overwhelming to talk to you about it. And he probably feels like he would wind up scaring you off, which is kind of funny. And that's kind of the reverse because usually it's the girl who winds up scaring the guy off instead. But it's almost like he's kind of like in the girl's position here where he's just like, oh, I feel so much and I don't want to scare her, so I'm just going to like keep my feelings to myself kind of a thing. And I feel like that may be exactly what the conflict is. It's his own internal conflict. Funny how you felt the same. Then trust your intuition. I mean, the cards are basically just confirming pretty much what you already know. So, you know, your intuition knows better than me, knows better than the cards and anything else. But it seems like the cards are just confirming what you already know. So, yeah, that internal conflict is probably himself. And he's like, oh, shit, I feel like way some type of way. And I can't tell her about that way too soon. So I'm going to keep this to myself right now. That doesn't mean that he will forever. You know, if you guys continue to hang out and communicate and stuff, you know, it may make him feel a little bit more comfortable down the line where he can start letting his guard down here and, you know, start saying, okay, yeah, like now I can start being real with like, hey, I really see long haul, big time potential for the two of us kind of a thing. And we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is usually like the phallic card, basically, out of the deck. So, you know, this is once again about the passion and desire. Sometimes it can be an indicator of like a one night stand, but considering the Four of Wands was the very first thing that popped out here for you, I highly doubt that that's the case in your situation. But he does have a lot of passion for you. He definitely feels a lot of sexy vibes basically for you is what it comes down to. So it definitely seems like he would enjoy some times of pleasure. And once again, I feel like he's not necessarily going to communicate that right off the bat because he's just like, I feel like if he were to approach you about that right now, he would probably think that you would think that you were just that he I'm trying to form my words here. I feel like if he approached you about sleeping together right now at this point, he would probably assume that you would assume that he was just interested in you as a booty call kind of a thing. And he doesn't want you to think that you're just a booty call because he sees you as much more than that. He sees you as, you know, like this more committed kind of feel thing. So if he's not like propositioning you, it's not that he doesn't want you, it's because he's like, I want her really bad, but I don't want her to think that that's all I want. I want a lot more kind of a thing. Which is really hard for a guy to control because they think with that so much is what it comes down to. We had one that flipped out here. And we have the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about, you know, being focused on missed opportunities, basically. This unicorn is not feeling so good looking at all the cups here that have spilled, but it still has two cups that are full over there, and it's not even realizing that. It's not even processing the fact that it has other options available to it. So I feel like this is kind of what he needs to do. He kind of needs to get out of his head and stop looking at ways that he might potentially screw it up, because I feel like that's what he keeps looking at. He keeps looking at, if I say this, if I do that, I'm going to screw things up and I'm going to spill the cups over. And he needs to stop looking at that. He needs to start looking at like the ways it can go right as opposed to the ways it can go wrong. And the reason he's so much in his head about this is simply because he cares a lot. You know, if he didn't care a lot, if he wasn't invested, it wouldn't matter. But let me get some ocean of emotion here for you to see how he's feeling. We'll see what comes up. We have warmth. I miss you and your smile. So he sees you as someone who's very warm. That doesn't necessarily surprise me considering everything else that came out. You know, usually somebody that they see as being like warm and caring and all that kind of stuff is usually someone that they can see themselves being attached to long term, usually someone that they could see as like being a wifey kind of thing. So that doesn't surprise me. He sees you that way. So he finds you to be very warm, very lovely. Let's see what else we got. We also have tame. You make me feel calm and free. So yeah, just another thing, you know, I don't know exactly what this guy's past has been, but if he has been like a wild stallion in a sense in the past, if he was a player or anything like that, I feel like you're the person who can tame him. You're the person who can tame his heart and, you know, just like make him feel safe and good and protected and calm. You know, it's like he knows that he can trust himself like in your arms. You know, maybe he has, you know, held many different women in the past, but he never felt that way with any of them outside of you. So you have this ability to tame him and calm him and just make him feel safe and good, basically, which makes sense because you also provide this warmth to him. So I feel like that warmth definitely helps as well. Whoa, we just had one totally fly out. You're getting all these good ones. Loyalty, forever yours, which once again doesn't surprise me because you got the Four of Wands that came out right off the bat. So he feels loyal to you. He feels that commitment towards you, which once again, I feel like it freaks him out because this is a new thing. This is a new scenario. So he's probably panicking within himself. It's like the best, worst thing to ever happen to him in a sense. But yeah, he feels that loyalty. He feels forever yours, committed, all that good stuff. I mean, man, you know, I wish I was doing a reading for my person right now and my cards came out like that. Oh, God. Okay, we have, which is really funny. I'm not so sure if this is for you or this is for me because I was literally just saying, I wish this reading was for my person. And then I got this that came out and it says, you feel so far away distance. And I mean, I am in Chicago right now and he's here too. But I live in LA, which is 2,000 miles away. And I do eventually have to go back there. So I think it's really funny. As I said that, this card flipped out. So maybe this one is actually for me on accident. If it is, I'm sorry. So this one could be for me, just emphasizing the fact that that's how he always feels. Blah, blah, blah. So, that's funny. But if there is any distance between the two of you, which I don't really feel like there is, because if it's a new thing, if it's this new scenario between the two of you, and he's feeling that strongly, I don't feel like he would necessarily feel the distance. So if this isn't for you, I'm sorry. I feel like my words just kind of like tripped that up temporarily. I was like, oops, careful what I say when I'm shuffling, apparently, because stuff will just fly right out. Anyways, let me get another one for you that I know is going to be for you, and not me on accident. All right, give me another one for Siwyn here on her super newly dedicated dude. And we have healthy. I'm becoming my best self. So I feel like you being in his life, it inspires him to become his best version of himself, to feel good, to feel healthy, to feel, whole and everything. So you help him feel good, you inspire him, you uplift him. So, once again, all positive things, all good, all super good and positive things here. Let me get one more for you. And my dog is starting to snore. And there he is, just laying there being cute. Before I went live tonight, my mom was just like, you better take your dog. He better go in there with you because he's the one that actually brings people in. People don't want to see you. People want to see your dog. I'm like, you're probably right. He's way cuter. And we have foolish. I've made a fool of myself. So I feel like that's kind of how he's feeling. He feels foolish because he feels all these emotions towards you, like major emotions. We're not just talking about like, oh yeah, she's hot, I'd bang her or whatever. We're not just talking about that. We're not just talking about, like an innocent little crush kind of thing. We're talking about like, oh damn, I got serious feels. Like I could see settling down with this woman. I could see making a life with this woman. I could see marrying her. I could see having children with her, blah, 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 blah. And he feels foolish. Like he feels like a little schoolgirl, kind of like making up fantasy scenarios in his head. He doesn't feel like he's being a dude is what it comes down to. So he feels foolish for how he's feeling, even though he's feeling a whole bunch of beautiful and wonderful things and vulnerable things and positive things, and he should follow that because that's good. Most guys are not like that. He should go with what his heart is feeling. But for the time being, he feels foolish. He feels stupid for how he's feeling, but hopefully he'll get past that. Maybe he just needs to get more comfortable and more accepting in how he's feeling about you. But hopefully that helps out, Siwyn. That is correct. We have not talked in 4 years. Oh, wow. So there's definitely been some time. Anise, for some reason, I picture you in fancy dinner dates with your man, you being all happy and all. Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah, I'm sure Siwyn would love that. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Siwyn. Okay. Anise, I think you got another one. Oh my goodness. I have so many messages on Messenger. I just noticed, like, as I'm doing my readings right now, I'm getting more requests for stuff, which is good. But I'm like, what's going on? That's really funny. I was just refreshing Venmo just to make sure I didn't miss anything on Venmo. And one of my friends paid somebody else for chicken because all of a sudden I see chicken as the first thing that popped up. And I'm like, chicken? Someone's paying me a reading for chicken? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. It makes sense now because that was not for me. That was just in my feed. Okay, Anise. Anise, I know you got another one. You're on a roll. All right, Anise. What was your next question? I think you mentioned it before, but I just want to double check. Ba, 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 ba. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Your question, your next question. Oh, you're doing a pedicure. Lovely. Fantastic. Okay, you want to know if you want to know if he knows that you guys are twins. Okay. Let's see if he knows. I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, twin flames are, basically just a label anyways. So, I mean, he could be aware of the connection. I don't know if he is aware of the terminology. There's definitely a difference, but we'll see. We'll see what comes through. We'll see what we get. And for this one, we've got a Grande. Does he know that they are twins? Give us some 411. Okay, so first card out is the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is about waiting for your ships to come in, basically. So, I know that you're basically waiting on him to get out of his karmic situation and his bad situation that he's currently in right now. So it's like, you're the unicorn here on the shore waiting for him to come in, kind of a thing. So I feel like if there's this sense of waiting, waiting for him to return to you, waiting for him to get out of this karmic relationship and come your way, he may not be aware of what twin flames are. I always feel like they're always aware of the connection, even if they can't explain it. I think they're always aware of it because, you can be aware of a connection and not have words to describe it. So he may not have words to describe it. I feel like he's aware of the connection. But since you're waiting, it's kind of like you're waiting for him to realize what twin flames are. So he may not necessarily know exactly like what the terminology is, kind of a thing. Let's see what else we get here. But he's out there in the ocean. He's working on coming in. Because most of the time, they feel the connection, but because they don't understand it, that's part of the reason why they like hightail it out of there and they take off and they just run because they don't understand what they're dealing with. And then it freaks them out and it scares them, kind of a thing. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like he sees you as the Queen of Pentacles. And, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who is super solid, someone who's stable, someone who's reliable. She's the mother, she's the lover. She knows how to run a household, run a business, be a good wife, be a good mom, the whole 9 yards, kind of a thing. So he definitely sees you as this. He sees you as a solid and stable person. So, in terms of like the connection, yes, I feel like he is aware of the connection because this is how he sees you. In terms of, does he understand like the lingo necessarily, exactly like the definition, like the textbook answer, I guess you could say, as to what a twin flame is? Probably not. He probably doesn't know it from that perspective because he's out here in the ocean working his way towards you. Maybe when you guys get to a place where you're in union, you could actually sit down and have that conversation with him and explain to him, like, this is what a twin flame is. This is what a soulmate is. This is what a karmic is. That kind of thing. I just had that conversation with my mom, of all people, when I was telling her what I do and the fact that I do readings, basically. Part of it was I was explaining to her what a twin flame is, what a karmic is, and what a soulmate is. And I thought it was going to go right over her head and she was going to be like, okay, whatever. This is some weird mumbo jumbo. I don't know what you're talking about. But she actually got it. She understood it and she's supportive and encouraging and all that good stuff, which is great. But yeah, like maybe when you guys are in union, you'll be able to have that conversation. But in the meantime, I do feel like he is aware of the connection because he does see you in this very good way of being the Queen of Pentacles. But let's see what else comes through. If he's the ocean, if he's in the ocean, I hope he knows how to swim. Well, if his boat goes down, he better have a lifeboat. Because if his karmic situation is that bad, like dealing with drugs and stuff, he might be on the Titanic. He might be headed for an iceberg before he gets to you. Yeah, I'm really relieved about that too. I mean, there was so much tension going on between the two of us because I just wasn't telling her anything, is what it comes down to. I wasn't being vulnerable. I wasn't opening up because a lot of the times when my mom and I have disagreements and when we argue, it's usually about small, trivial things like totally stupid shit. And because of the little stuff, I figured she would blow up about the bigger stuff, which was why I wasn't telling her. I was like, I can't confide in her in anything. She flips out if I throw away an ibuprofen bottle. So if she flips out over me throwing away an ibuprofen bottle, I can't tell her what I'm doing. I can't tell her anything. Like, she didn't even know I was thinking about moving, and now she knows everything. She knows that I'm in here doing this live right now, you know, doing readings and stuff. She knows I do that. She knows I'm thinking about moving. She knows about what's going on between me and my person. She knows about all that stuff. And most importantly, she's supportive and she's understanding. And, you know, she basically told me the other day that whatever it is I decide, whether I decide to stay in LA or whether I decide to move back here, she thinks things will fall into place. And I'm trusting my mommy's words with that. So, hi, Luna Tech. Hearts to you too. Give you a little heart. Yes, the Titanic. But that's not exactly the most romantic version of the Titanic. It's not like Rose and Jack. That's for sure. Especially if you're on the shore waiting for him to come back in. But let's see what else is going on here. We have the Chariot. So the Chariot is about forward movement. It's about taking action. And it's about beating down the adversaries. And the adversary in your case is, you know, probably the karmic. I would say even more so, maybe even probably the drugs. Because if the reason he's with her is because he has a drug problem and maybe she's kind of like, you know, if not like a dealer to him, but an enabler to him dealing with the drugs, you know, the bigger issue is almost kind of like the drugs. It's not necessarily her. So I feel like the adversary of the karmic situation with the drugs and her is the thing that needs to be overcome. And, you know, he's the one who has to get in the chariot to do that. He's the one who has to get in the chariot to overcome his adversaries, which is the drugs, to overcome moving past that karmic and leaving that situation. Because, you know, I know that you could look at the karmic as being your adversary, but it's ultimately hurting him a lot more than it's hurting you. So he's the one who needs to step out of that and take action to get out of it and take action to come towards you. So, you know, once again, you know, there's this opportunity where he can get into his chariot and do that. And I feel like if he's aware of your connection, if he knows of your connection, he can do that. He can get into that chariot and he can move forward. Hi, Hearts Love Joe. Yes, you can get added to the list, but I am doing paid readings only, just so you know. And the way I do paid readings is, since I don't have super chats on my channel, you can always submit a payment to my PayPal or my Venmo. And the information for both of those is in the description of the video. And in terms of like what you can order for that, that's all in the description of the video as well. So basically, if you want your question answered with oracle cards only, yeah, no problem. So basically, if you want your question answered, you can get oracle cards only, which would be a tall, and that's $3. You can get tarot cards only, which would be a grande, and that would be $7. Or you can get a venti, which is $10, and that's a combination of both tarot and oracle. So you can pick any of those options, submit your payment, and ask your question, and you can add to the list. So that's basically how it rolls. Anyway, yes, enabler. Yeah, she's an enabler. She is an enabler. Oh, we got one that just flipped out. We have the magician. So the magician basically has all of the tools at his disposal to create the life that he wants to for himself. He's got the wands, he's got the swords, he's got the cups, he's got the pentacles, he's got it all. So, once again, in regards to Enrique, he has the power to change this. He has all the tools in front of him. He can create the life that he wants. He can either continue to create the life that he's living right now, which is being a druggie and being miserable and being enabled and not going anywhere, or he can choose to better his life and he can walk away from that and walk away from her, walk away from the drugs and start walking towards love, walking towards things with you. So he has the choice to change that. He has the choice to fix that. He's not a dumb guy. He has all of what he needs right in front of him. It's just a matter of picking it up. It's kind of like if you're, in the middle of some kind of disaster, if you're in a burning building or something and you have a phone and you have the choice to use your phone and call 911 so some firefighters can come and get the fire out, or you can choose to not call them at all and watch the burning building just come right down. So obviously it would be a good idea to pick up your tools there, pick up your phone and make that call. So, it's kind of up to him. He can do that if he wants. It's his choice. But, like I said, he seems to be kind of stuck here. And I have a feeling a lot of it is probably tied to the drug abuse that's involved. But, like I said, I do feel like he is aware of the connection. If he wasn't aware of the connection, he wouldn't see you as the Queen of Pentacles, and he wouldn't have the ability to get into his chariot to move forward towards you. He just needs to stop being stubborn with this, is what it comes down to. What a chill Friday night. He does, but puts other people first, then himself. He's a people pleaser. Yeah, that's a problem too. He really isn't, but he's a people pleaser. I feel like he doesn't want to leave her because they've been together for almost 8 years, basically stagnation. Yeah, stagnation and comfort too, like he doesn't really know what his life would be like outside of her. So, there's that sense of fear in a sense inside of him where he's just like, he doesn't necessarily know, like what his life would look like. It probably looks uncomfortable and scary to him because it's a comfort factor. And sometimes we can be completely miserable in a situation, but if we're comfortable, we'll stay there anyways, because even though it's miserable, it's better than being somewhere else and being uncomfortable and not knowing if where we're going is going to make us happy or not. And this is going to sound really weird, but if he doesn't get out of that situation, he may have something happen to him dealing with her, like something that happened to me. But it's not like a relationship thing, but it's definitely still when someone is too comfortable that they don't move when they're supposed to kind of a thing. So the apartment that I lived in before the one that I'm in right now, oh my gosh, I was in that apartment for so incredibly long. I had a studio in East Hollywood. and I was there for 9 years. And I stayed there because the rent was dirt cheap and I was comfortable. Like, I was comfortable there, obviously. And like, I wasn't paying for utilities. Utilities were included in the rent and everything. So I stayed there. I stayed put. And there was a time period for a while that I was like starting to feel this nudging inside of my heart, like maybe it's time to move on, maybe it's time to look for a different place, a better place, that kind of thing. But I didn't. And I didn't bother to answer the call of my heart, basically, because I was comfortable. I was like, no, but I have a really good deal here. I don't pay very much rent. My utilities are included. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay put because this is comfortable. Well, that bit me in the ass. It bit me in the ass bad. um, so basically, because I didn't do that, I wound up getting bed bugs in that apartment because they had been circulating the building, and I had no idea that they had been circulating the building. But I wound up getting them, and it was a nightmare situation. It's a long story, like way too long to even cover in this live right now. Otherwise, my bed bug story would basically hijack the entire thing. But my former landlord, I mean, he was really a slumlord, is what it comes down to. And I literally wound up homeless out of that situation. I could not live in that apartment because it was a studio apartment. It was that bad. So I was homeless for a period of time and still paying rent on that apartment, even though it was unlivable. Like, the conditions to live there turned to be so volatile. It was unlivable. I had nights where I was sleeping in my car. My mom put me up in a hotel for a night. I wound up eventually crashing at a friend's house for months at a time because that's how long this drama went on for. So like I said, it's a whole other separate thing. I could do a total separate video on this, and basically it would be like nightmare living situations in LA. Which is funny because when I tell like leasing people here, when I've looked for apartments here in Chicago, or at least in the suburbs over here, like, people are blown away by this story. They're like, what happened to you? That's what it's like in LA. Like, LA is the wild, wild west. What's going on over there? But anyways, I hope you sued them. I tried to sue them, but because, once again, they are super slippery, shady. Yeah, the way that they are. I could not serve them the papers to go to court myself. Somebody else had to. That's just like the rules of how it is. So I had other people try to serve them the papers, and they evaded the papers every single time. So I was never able to take them to court. It was a total nightmare. So, I mean, 2016, like, everyone complains about 2020. Well, 2016 was like 2020 times 100 for me personally. It was like a million times worse. So yeah, anyways, because I was comfortable in that situation and I didn't listen to my intuition, I didn't listen to my heart, I didn't move when God told me to move, I could have avoided that. I could have left that apartment before any of those bed bugs happened, but I didn't. And I stayed there, and then I paid for it. Like, I paid for it a lot because it was such a nightmare situation to go through. Now, thankfully, the situation ended well, and it's all happily ever after. And I eventually found the apartment that I'm in now, which is a zillion times better. It's taken care of so much better. It's beautiful. It's amazing. When I do move back to Chicago, whenever I figure that whole thing out, it's actually going to be really hard to leave that building because it is that good of a building. And that's one of the reasons why I struggle with the decisions that I'm making now. But, it eventually all worked out. But God had to rattle my cage. He was like, no, you can't stay here. Like, you may be comfortable here, but you can't stay here. And I know that's a different type of situation than what Enrique is dealing with. But he could go through a similar type of thing. It may not be bed bugs, but he could go through something so explosive and so volatile dealing with her and dealing with the drugs and dealing with everything else, he could wind up getting himself into some serious trouble and some serious problems if he doesn't get out of it. Because I'm sure God has probably been speaking to him saying like, hey, I understand you're comfortable in this, but this is, this is expired. It's like you're living in a, like out some kind of nasty food that's expired that's making a big stench in the refrigerator. Basically, it's like it's time to get out of this, basically. And if he doesn't, he may wind up in a really bad situation, just like I did. So he really needs to start getting out of it. He needs to get out of it now. But yeah, that could be the issue. He could just be way too comfortable, like I said. I know sometimes we stay longer than we need to. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's going on with him. But let me pull you a couple more here. I feel like I kind of went on this whole other side tangent dealing with the bed bug thing. But like I said, it was a really traumatic time. And that seriously could be like a whole separate thing all in itself. I mean, I was suicidal. Like, it was bad. I literally had a friend lay down on me in my car because I was tempted to just like walk out of my car one night and like go get hit by traffic because I was like that. I was that gone. I was that gone from the whole situation. It was a nightmare. Oh, thank you. I'm glad my anecdotes help. If my stories can help, I'm glad that they can. If there's anyone who should be hearing that story, though, it's probably Enrique because he's the one who's a little stuck. So he needs a little smack up the side of the head there. Get out of his comfort zone. A comfort zone can be a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. So he needs to get out of that. We also have the Two of Swords. So I feel like he is trying to make a decision. I do feel like he is aware here that he needs to, get out of that comfort zone that we were just talking about. I feel like he is aware of that, but he needs to make a decision. This is about, having two different thoughts, two different ideas, trying to make a choice. He has the choice to either stay where he's at right now, to continue to stay stuck, stay in a toxic situation, stay in a dead-end relationship, stay in drugs and all this messy, disgusting kind of stuff, or he has the choice to turn his life around, change things, make it better, start walking away from the things that are toxic and pulling him down. And yeah, that probably means getting out of the drugs and that kind of stuff, but he has the choice to change that and leave her and go towards you and to be happy and to have a brand new start in life. So he has these two different choices. He is definitely at a crossroads, though. I feel like he kind of, lives in this place where he's back and forth in his head. And, it's like hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, lukewarm kind of a thing. But that's the thing. As long as he's staying in that position, he can't expect things to necessarily move forward. He can't. Like, he can't move forward in one direction or the other. He has to, like, pick a route and stick with it. And that's something that I've been learning myself because, once again, like, I hate that this keeps turning into a, well, I went through this too kind of thing. But, I've been stuck in this indecision of, do I stay in LA? Or do I move back home to Chicago? Which one do I go with? I can't constantly live in the in-between. I'm going to have to make a decision at some point, and I'm going to have to choose one or the other. I can't straddle the entire country, basically. So, same kind of thing. I cannot make progress in one city or the other if I don't choose one. So, that goes for any of us. Same for him. The night he told me how he felt, he told me he knew something was going to happen with his relationship with her. That was 2 years ago. So I know he knows he's just being stagnant there. Yeah, probably. And, you know, if he doesn't shake himself up, God will. You know, eventually the judgment call will be out of our hands. And it's not always fun when it's, you know, not ourselves that's making that judgment call. We also have the Eight of Pentacles. So to me, this tells me that he has a lot of work to do, because that's what the Eight of Pentacles is about. It's about working hard. It's about diligence. It's about working towards your goals. And, you know, he can do that. He can, you know, it's going to take work, especially since this does involve the, you know, drugs dealing with him. This is going to be a constant battle for him for the rest of his life, because he's going to have withdrawals. He's going to have to detox himself off of that stuff. You know, he may need to go to like meetings and stuff for this kind of thing. You know, one of my best friends, her mom is an alcoholic, and she struggles in her relationship with her mom all the time because her mom is an alcoholic. And it's going to be an ongoing battle for this friend of mine with her mom for the rest of her mom's life, because it's a problem. So he has some work that he needs to do ahead of him. So he's got to work. He's not just going to like get this handed to him. He can't just like have these nice thoughts or whatever. He needs to make choices, and he's going to have to work hard at it when he makes these choices. It's not just going to fall into his lap, kind of a thing. Let me see what's happening here. I feel like there's all this stuff happening here in the chat, and I just keep going on my little tangent here. Where was I? It's hurtful because I wanted to be his friend and be there for him, but he just shut me out. Yeah, no, I understand. He will come to you when he's ready. I think the most important thing is, as long as you have made yourself available to him and you've told him like, "Hey, I am here. I am available." He knows it. He knows it, and he's aware of it. So, you know, you got to kind of leave the ball in his court, and when he's ready to come to you, he will, because he knows that that's a good place. Hi, Stella Luna Guidance. I don't know if you noticed, but you just called Chicago home, not LA. I did? I didn't notice. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm from Chicago originally. So a lot of the times when I'm in LA, I always talk about like going back home, because this is where I'm from. This is like my hometown. But I did not notice that. Things just fly out of my mouth sometimes, and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, it's like the saying, home is where your heart is. And, you know, there's a big part of my heart that is here. You know, the most important people in my life are here. That's not to say that LA isn't important to me at all, because I have a lot of important people back in LA too. And, you know, LA is the place where I feel like I discovered who I was. It's where I basically got to, you know, go from like girl to womanhood, basically. It's where I had to chase my dreams and that kind of thing. You know, I feel like if I had stayed here my entire life and never took that adventure out there, I probably would have had a lot of regrets. I probably would have had a lot of, you know, like what ifs, like what if this had happened? What if that had happened? I'm glad I don't have to live that way. I don't have to wonder, you know, what if? Like I know that I know, which is the most important thing. So I may not stay there. I may come back, but that's okay. But I think in some ways I will always return to LA, even if I do move back here. I think I will always like go back to visit there frequently, because I know so many people there. And I mean, that's beneficial. At least like I'll have places to crash, places to stay. And you cannot keep me away from Disneyland that long. Not even a pandemic can keep me away from Disneyland that long. But let me pull you one more here, Anise, with this twin flame question, with him being aware of it. Like I said, I do feel like he is aware of the connection. I just, I don't know if he knows about the labels, but I wouldn't worry about those. Don't worry about the labels. And we have the Emperor. So he is the Emperor to your Empress. So, the Emperor knows. He knows his connections. He knows what he's got around him. So he is your Emperor for sure. So, yeah. You're making mac and cheese. Oh, mac and cheese is so good. I had Portillo's tonight for dinner. Yes, the masculine card, the big masculine card, because he's the embodiment of all those kings. But he is your masculine. That's the confirmation right there. He is your masculine, even through all those ups and downs and in betweens and all arounds. He is your masculine. You can't do anything about it. You can't outrun it. But yeah, I had Portillo's tonight, which is basically this. This is my gigantic chocolate shake. It is a Chicago hot dog place. So I always get the chili dog and the cheese fries whenever I go to Portillo's. It's so good. There is actually one. There's a couple actually in Southern California. They're not in LA, but like if I'm really craving some good Chicago food, basically when I am back in LA, I will take the trip and I will get on the 5 and I will drive down to Buena Park because Buena Park is where one of those Portillos are. And I will go there and I'll be like, oh, Portillo's, thank you. So good. Hopefully you sleep tonight. Haven't been having good night's rest. I have so much anxiety. I don't know why. Well, I'm sorry you haven't been sleeping very well. I would try listening to some meditations or something like that before you go to sleep. Try to find some like healing kind of stuff. Like I know over on not her main channel, but if you go over to like Bridget's channel, like the other one, her sister channel, the Divine Essentials one, I think she has like a lot of good just like healing kind of meditation kind of stuff. Maybe if you listen to one of those as you're falling asleep, that might help. I remember what was it? It was like December of something of 2019. It was before the pandemic started. I got like it was like a healing session, like a healing meditation thing from her dealing with my person. It's like an hour long. And I have listened to it like 1,000,001 times, and I usually listen to it when I fall asleep, and it does help. It does make a difference. So I don't think she's like offering any of those like for your specific situation right now, but I know she has those just like in terms of like general stuff over on her channel. So Stella, I've been restless too. There's something in the air. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my sleep I feel like has actually been pretty good, but I think that's just because I'm usually like constantly go so much during the day that by the time my head hits the pillow, I'm like, good night, sleep. Because I feel like I don't sleep very much because then it's like I wake up and it's like I have a bazillion and one things I need to do again today. So it's just like I'm constantly go so much. My body's just ready to give out at night. So I don't know. Let me check PayPal and Venmo to see if there's anything else going on there. If there's not, I'll probably do something a little general for you guys. For whoever is here. Okay. Could it be because of reading tarot? I mean, it could be. It could be, but I feel like it's not just because of reading for people. Because there's a whole thing. Like, yeah, I can get on here and I can read cards and stuff, but then it's just like there's all the extra stuff that happens behind the scenes too, because it's like when you create a video and stuff, you got to take care of that thumbnail, you got to take care of the tags, you got to take care of all those different details and stuff, all the social media stuff. There's like the marketing angle that goes into it as well. It's not just like, oh, here, I'm going to do a reading and toss it up. There's like all the fancy dancy marketing things that you kind of toss in there too. And it gets exhausting. It gets draining. So it's just like constant go, 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 go. And the next thing I've been working on it a little bit. I kind of took a little break from it because I was working out kinks dealing with my mom. But now that my mom and I are cool, I can hopefully go back to doing this. I have been in the process of creating my very first deck. So that's like the next thing up in order I'm working on too, is I have been working on messages. I have like a little note that I have written in my phone of all these different messages I'm going to put in a deck basically. And I'm not going to say what the theme of it is because it's very unique and it's very different. And I haven't necessarily seen somebody else do this kind of theme, but it's unique. It's different is pretty much what I'll say. And yeah, so I've been working on that. And then I want to get onto like Canva and create like the different designs for it and everything and put it up on makeplayingcards.com. And then because of that, I want to open an Etsy shop so that way then I can sell this deck and hopefully start creating some more. So that's a whole other thing on my shoulders. And then you put on top of that, like all the apartment searching and all the research I've been doing, dealing with that, which isn't even related to doing readings. So it's just been like nonstop, go, go, go is what it comes down to. Anise, I created my deck already, but haven't put it out there yet. I would love to send you one though. Oh, that's so sweet. That would be amazing. I mean, I'm always open for new decks. That's so cool. Why haven't you put it out there yet? You should put it out there, start it would be good for you in terms of making money, and it would be good for other people to add to their collections and, help others, with the messages that you have, with the messages that you've channeled. So that's amazing. That's super cool. But yeah, so that's kind of that. I think I will pull a few just like general messages here though for you guys before I sign off. Have a little sip of my chocolate shake. Let me move Ocean of Emotion out of the way. Oh, wrong box. I was about to put it in the wrong box here. Okay. This is the box that I want. I have all these crazy boxes that I keep my decks in and stuff, at least ones that like don't necessarily come in a box. So I have this, like I literally got this during like the back to school stuff and everything from Target. And in this box I keep Journey of Love and Journey of Love 2. So that's kind of like how I keep some of my decks. But oh my goodness, so much from Anise here. Because I'm still because I'm still kind of iffy with the whole layout of the deck, like the images and everything, but I'm going to get working on it again and put it up for sale soon. But if you want me to pull some messages for you and your masculine tonight, I'll go ahead and do so and send it to you through Instagram using my deck. If you're interested. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm kind of nervous just because not because of you or your deck or your messages at all, but just because I'm like, oh gosh, what is he going to have to say? I'm like, So, but yeah, no, that's fine. That's cool. I would love to see just like, like what your deck looks like anyways, as it is. So that's a great way to do it. Just to see if it resonates and clicks for me. But yeah, that's cool. But I understand what you mean though, with the layout and the design. Like you just want to make sure that it's, perfection pretty much. I totally get that. I would feel the same way. It's like, I want to make sure this is just right. All right. Let's see. I think for some general messages, you guys, what deck have I not used in a while? Kind of just like moving things around here. I think I'm going to go with Amira's Love Oracle and see if we have any like general love messages just for whoever's here right now and, you know, whoever comes across this maybe on a replay or something like that. So let's see what we get. My masculine inspired the images and some messages he personally told me, even messages he told me in dreams. And I channeled the other messages from other masculines as well. Well, that's really cool. That's awesome. The deck that I'm working on, it's not like one of those. It's not like messages from your masculine kind of thing. It's, like I said, I don't want to say what it is because I'm like, I don't want anyone to steal my idea. Because it's unique. Because I've been on Etsy and Amazon and those kinds of places, and I've looked at like other types of like themed ideas, I guess you could say, for decks. And I haven't really seen this type of theme idea. So that's why I'm like, I'm not saying anything yet. But Anise, I think you'll understand it once you see it because there's kind of an LA undertone to it, is the best way I can describe it. I think that's the most I'll say about it from that perspective. But and hearts from Stella. Hearts to you too. All right. So let's see. General love messages for who is here right now. What do we need to know in love? We have past life. So for whoever is here right now, we got some past life connections going on. So chances are the person that you're connected to, you know, which I know a lot of you guys are dealing with twin flames. Chances are whoever it is that you're connected to, you guys have been here. You've done this 1,000,001 times. You'll do it another 1,000,001 times, even though I think we're all crazy for coming back here and doing this over and over and over again. But there's definitely some past life connections going on. And, you know, whenever I think of past lives, I also think of the fact that you guys could simply have an extensive past, even right here, right now, in this lifetime too. So, you know, just the past in general could be a very heavy duty major factor between you and your person. I am only channeling messages, but I am also feeling a pull to do karmic messages since I keep dreaming of my masculine's karmic. Maybe it's a sign. It could be. That could be a sign. You know, especially if like whatever it is that you're dealing with in your journey, like I know for you, Anise, you know, you're dealing with a karmic person. Not everybody is dealing with a karmic person, but you know, I feel like whatever it is that's going on in your journey, I feel like that definitely heavily inspires, you know, anything that does come through in terms of messages that are channeled or decks that are created and that kind of thing. And, you know, typically people who have been through similar situations as you will probably resonate with that because you guys are kind of like on that same frequency in a sense. So that totally makes sense. You know, that's one of the reasons why like Bridget resonated for me right off the bat as a reader because, you know, I got a person, like my first personal reading that I ever got from her was like maybe August or September, something like that, of 2019. And I mean, her readings had always resonated with me, but it wasn't until that I got my personal reading from her, I understood why, because we have a lot of similarities in our respective situations. She's known her person since she was 14. I've known mine person since I was 14. A lot of different stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, this makes sense as to why you resonated so strongly for me then. Um, I also have a question. Is it true that twin flames not always have past lives together? Because it's possible that was just because it's possible it was just incarnated in a past life, and this lifetime we are split into two. Well, I mean, all twin flames have to start in some lifetime, right? So, I mean, you don't have to have a past life necessarily with your person, because you all have to have a beginning somewhere. There has to be a first life started somewhere, right? So no, I don't think having a past life is a requirement to having a twin flame, because it all starts somewhere. You know, for some people, they may have been through no past lives with that person. It could be their very first time on the merry-go-round. For other people, maybe they had five. For other people, maybe they've had hundreds. You know, it could be different for everybody. So I don't think there's any rule necessarily when it comes down to that, because it's possible that it was just one incarnate. Well, here's my perspective on the whole like being split in two thing. I do not necessarily agree with like other readers who are just like, you were one soul and then you were split into two different bodies kind of a thing, because in my opinion, that makes you feel like you're not really a whole person. And I believe that us by ourselves, like our own being, our own existence, we are 110% like our own person. We are 110% our own soul, our own spirit, our like we're whole. We're whole and we're complete, completely on our own by ourselves without another person. Um, so, you know, the way that like other people kind of put it sometimes with like, oh, you're split in two, you're kind of just like half a person walking around looking for your other half. I don't feel like that's healthy at all. I feel like that creates a very unhealthy perspective of trying to find somebody else to complete you when we're already whole and we're already complete 100% on our own. What I do think, though, is I feel like twin flames share similar vibrations. I feel like they share um, like a similar wavelength, that there's a lot of common ground there basically between the two of them, more so than it would be with anybody else, that makes the connection, that makes the bond that much stronger. And that's kind of what draws them in to one another. So basically they could each function in their own separate respective ways, but they can also thrive coming together. There's no right or wrong way necessarily to do it, but I do believe everyone's completely whole on their own, 100%. Just twin flames are better connected to one another than other people. Okay, just wanted to confirm I'm not going to say which reader it was. Oh boy. But she argued that I was not in a twin flame relationship with Enrique because it did not show up that we had a past life together. No. And not only that, but no one else can tell you that you're a twin flame or not. That's another thing too. Like once again, another thing I am not a believer in. I am not a believer in twin flame checks. I'm just not. I don't believe that you can get your answer by going to a reader or to somebody and basically have somebody else tell you about the most important connection in your entire life. Because at least to me as a reader, I don't feel like I'm that powerful. I don't have the power and the ability and the judgment, basically. Like, I don't have the authority to pass that kind of judgment onto anybody else and say, this person is your twin flame, and for you, that person is not. I don't have that authority. I just don't. Nobody does. The only person who can tell you that someone is your twin flame or not is you, because it is the most personal, most intimate, most connected connection that you're ever going to have in your entire life. And at the end of the day, you're the only one who's going to know whether that person is your twin flame or not. So This is why for myself, I don't even go to people and ask them, is he my twin flame? Because I already know the answer to that question. I don't need that answer from somebody else. That's a part of getting strong enough in your own faith and strong enough in your own convictions that you don't need external confirmation of in other places. And Anise, I know we were talking earlier about like the spiritual journey and like growing up in it. And that's another thing too. As you grow in your own spiritual journey, you're not going to need as much external confirmation in order to know what you know. Like when you're kind of like a little baby in the beginning of it and everything, those confirmations, like the synchronicities, the 1111s, and that kind of stuff, that's all really helpful. But the stronger you get in it, the more grown up you get in it, the more God is going to kind of like pull back and say, okay, you're getting stronger now. So you don't need as much assistance. You don't need as many reminders now. You don't need training wheels. You can actually ride this bike now on your own, kind of a thing. So don't worry so much about somebody else's confirmation on your connection, because it's your connection. And I feel like the people who really understand your connection and who get it and who are meant to be supportive to you with it, you're going to align with those people. You're going to know what's going to align and what's going to feel right and what's going to feel good at the end of the day, is what it comes down to. Because if it's one thing, if someone tries to correct you, and if they condemn you, if you feel bad about it and you feel guilty about it and you feel terrible and you feel down and you feel destroyed, that's not the message for you. But if someone corrects you and you feel convicted about it, that's a whole different ball game. And by convicted, that means you're like, okay, I acknowledge this is a problem. This is an issue. I agree with that. And I feel motivated to change this. I feel motivated to make this better. Then you know that that is the right message for you. So there's a difference. Anything that is pulling you down is not right. That doesn't mean you're never corrected. You can have constructive criticism be brought to you in a sense in your development and what you need to fix in your life and how to grow and all this other kind of stuff. But it should always inspire you. It should always make you feel better about yourself. It should always make you feel like you can do it. Not like you're going to be destroyed is what it comes down to. So I feel like I'm going on like preacher tangent or something tonight. Like I feel like I just turned into like the Joel Osteen of tarot or something up in here. But anyway, let me go back and read these chats here. Hi, KB. I didn't even know you were here. It's good to see you though. And then I'm going to pull some more cards here because all I got was as far as past life. And I'm like, I know I can pull more than just past life. It's just that's what happens. I get on a tangent and then I just go. Yes, I agree with you. I do not believe those readers that claim that they can tell you what connection you are in. No one can tell you. You're the only one who can know yourself. Please beware of readers and Etsy or other readers that tell you about your connections. Completely agree. She argued because I came to her to get a reading about some guy you used to work with that keeps coming in and out of your life as well. And the Twin Flame Oracle card popped up with him in the past life. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's one thing for stuff to pop up in the cards, but you have to interpret it though. You have to use your intuition. It's not just like reading it textbook, because for every single reading I've done tonight, I could have read the cards completely differently if I was just, like taking out the little booklet for it basically and be just like, bah, 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 bah. This is how it goes. Like, it's not always textbook. You have to tap into your intuition and, really kind of read between the lines of what the story is. And if that's what she's doing, why is she reading cards is my question. Like where's her intuition? She's not using her intuition. She's just using exactly what's in front of her face, and anyone can pretty much do that. So, and it's funny because, I don't go out seeking twin flame check-ins like that, but it's funny because whenever I do need a boost from God, and he knows that I need a boost and I've been down and that kind of thing, he'll give me a boost without me asking for it because he'll know when I need it. And it was like a few weeks ago or something like that. I was kind of like, I was kind of wonky or whatever. And there's a metaphysical shop that is funny enough in my person's neighborhood. Basically, I didn't go there for him. I went there for the metaphysical shop, and I got a reading done. And I didn't ask for a twin flame connection, but it was like kind of coming out in the cards stuff dealing with him. I wasn't even asking about him. I literally just asked the girl. I was just like, whatever it is that's meant to come through, just let it come through. Whatever it is I need to know right now. I made it super general. I didn't even make it about love. And sure enough, he was the thing that was coming through. And she was just like, wait, let me check and see if he really is your twin. And I didn't even ask it. I was like, but because I didn't want her to check for me. And she was just like, oh, yes, yes, I feel this. He is definitely your twin. And it's just like, it's moments like that where I was just like, okay, well, obviously this is one of those moments where God was like, okay, you need this little extra boost. So he'll give you the boost when you actually need it. Maybe not when you're always seeking it, but he'll give it to you when you need it. Okay. Hi, KB. I'm going to read your comments now. Personally, I try to stay away from the concept of twin flames. I've seen people use it as a way to obsess over people they like. One person I know swore up and down this person was her twin. The guy didn't even know she existed and married someone else his age. Yeah, that happens a lot too. And I completely understand where you're coming, KB. And I agree. There are people who do, like, they don't understand. Like, I feel like the people who get obsessive like that, they don't understand what a true twin flame is. Because if you really are in a true twin flame dynamic, yes, you're always going to love that person. You're always going to be connected to that person. But because that love is unconditional, you will have a respect for them to make their own choices, whether they choose you or not. And yeah, it may hurt if they don't, but you're still going to respect that because your love for them is deep enough to let them choose, to let them live their life. And if they don't choose you, you'll be okay and you'll find your own way, and trust that, God has something better for you than even your twin. So I completely agree. I have literally come, and I'm not going to, name names of who or anything, obviously, but I've literally seen people who have thought celebrities, people they've never even met. And they think this person is their twin flame. I'm like, no, I don't think so. You may have a really strong crush on a celebrity, and that's one thing, but this is kind of getting into creepy stalker land here. So yeah, I completely agree with that. And I get that. I don't agree that that means that twin flames don't exist or they're not real, because I know for myself, I completely have that connection with somebody, but at the same time, I'm not going to chase after him. I'm not going to go after him or anything like that. He knows where I stand. He knows how I feel, and it's basically up to him. And I'm here and I'm available if he wants that. But I'm not going to force him. I pray for him. I don't necessarily pray for him to come to me. I usually, when I pray for him, I pray for him to just have his best life, to be healthy, to be whole, to have joy in his life, that God takes care of him physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all those kinds of things, because I just want him to be happy. Of course, my heart's desire is I hope that, you know, that can eventually mean like I could be that thing that could make him happy. Sure, that is a part of it, but I don't obsess over it. If that's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it doesn't, God has a different plan, and that's okay too. So, however it's going to work out is how it's going to work out. But yeah, obsession to me is not a twin flame connection. That is a karmic situation if someone is obsessing over someone. So, I think that's the case of when people are like that. I think that they're abusing what a twin flame dynamic truly is, and they don't really understand it. They don't get what it truly is. Anyway, whoa, my Instagram is going off. Is that you, Anise? I don't know what's going on there. I'm like, is that you? Instagram just like went no, that is you. That's so funny. Okay. So she told me this guy. Oh wait, I saw that. She told me this guy is my twin and not Enrique, and I do not agree with her because with Enrique, I went through all my awakenings and ascension. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely. That's the other thing too. Like a twin flame is going to push you to be the best version of yourself. A twin flame is going to push you to be the best version of yourself and to awaken and ascend and all that good stuff. That's definitely what a twin flame is going to do. And not only that, but if you don't even feel a connection with that other guy, like you can't fake a connection. If you don't feel a connection with him, who cares what the card says? The connection's not there. Like that doesn't make any sense. That's so weird. Oh shit, yes, the celebrities. Oh my gosh. Yes, the person thought a singer was her twin. Yeah, unfortunately that happens. Like I don't understand that. I really don't. And especially for me, it kind of drives me nuts. Not necessarily on the twin flame thing, but before I got involved into readings or anything like that, I used to do music. I did a lot of stuff in the music business, and I have known the boy band 98 Degrees for 22 years, since 1999. That was when I met them. And believe me, I have seen some crazy shit in my day of girls being crazy towards those poor four boys, those four Midwest guys. And that's not necessarily on the twin flame thing, because like I didn't know what twin flames were at that time. It's not like any of those crazy fans were like, oh, Jeff and Nick and Drew and Justin, they're my twin flame. It's not like they were like that or anything, but I've seen it in other situations is the point. So I completely get it. I was like, oh my gosh, these girls are crazy around 98 Degrees. They're absolutely nuts. And especially just being in LA in general, you see weird things go on all the time. Exactly. I stopped doubting when I merged energetically and spiritually into one with him. Yes, some girl in another reader's channel said Drake was her twin. What? That's crazy. I'm sure Drake has no idea who she is. That's so funny. The first card that popped out for you, though, you're going to be happy. Okay. Well, I'll check after the live. I'm not going to check right now. Yes, I'm sorry I blew up your Instagram right now. I wanted to send you your messages because I'm going to have dinner and then play with my Nintendo 64. That's totally fine. I will definitely check it later on. But let me pull some more cards here besides past life, because I feel like I haven't gotten very far here. So once again, let's get a few more little love messages here, just general for whoever's here right now. Let's get a few more. We got past life. Past life. Past life, past life. Shadow, what are you doing? Shadow, do you want me to pull cards for you? He's like, no, I'm sleeping. Oh my gosh. He's so cute. All right. We also have travel. So there could be some traveling going on here for you guys coming up. So if there's been, maybe physical distance between you and your person, you guys could be traveling towards one another. Or, maybe at some point you and your person might decide to actually just like take a trip. And I know traveling in general right now is a little weird because of everything going on with COVID. But vaccines are rolling out, there are changes that are happening. So maybe travel will be a little bit more promising coming up in the future, maybe during the summer or something like that. I know Biden said something about like everyone being eligible for a vaccine by like May. So, maybe this will pertain to like summer travel, that kind of thing. People take vacations typically during the summertime, anyways. At least in normal times, not when we're in crazy COVID times. I always wondered if you can pull cards on animals. I miss going to Italy. I've never, the only place I've been out of the country is Canada when I was 10, and that's it. I've never been anywhere else. Oh, purple hearts from Rachel. Yay. That's so funny. Yeah, I've only been to Canada and I was 10. So I really haven't, I've been to a lot of places within the continental US. I've been to like majority of the states. I feel like the only states I really haven't necessarily covered is like down south, but I've been to a lot of different states before. But as far as international travel, nothing, unless you count Canada when I was 10. So yeah, that's kind of funny. But as for the cards on animals, I can do that actually. I remember it was like a couple months ago or something. There was a live that I did, and somebody came in on the live, and they had the most unique question that I had never answered before. But I answered it, and I was able to help apparently. They had a friend whose cat got lost. The cat ran away, the cat escaped or something, and they wanted to know for their friend if the cat was still alive. And I was like, well, I have never done a question like this before, but I'll see what I can do. So I have done animal readings before. I don't do them often, but usually when I do them, I usually use the Divine Dog deck, just because it's, it's kind of doggy inspired. It's kind of animal inspired. So usually when I do them, that's normally the one that I go to. So I have done them before. And they're kind of fun to do just because they're unique and they're different. I feel like a lot of people always ask about love, which I have no problem doing, but it's always fun when there's like a super unique question that kind of comes out of left field. I'm like, oh, that's different. Like, why not? I'm ready to rise to the challenge. What is this about? And we have family. So I feel like whoever it is that you're connected to wants family. They want to create a family with you. If you have kids or they have kids or anything like that, they want to merge that. If you don't, I feel like, they'd like to have kids with you. If having kids isn't something that's on your radar, I feel like, they just want to make a family, like just the two of you. Maybe have some dog children or something. But yeah, so I feel like this person definitely sees you as family, that they'd want to, create a family with you, that they would want to like introduce you to their family if they haven't already. So family is a big factor here. And we have gifts. So with gifts, I feel like that's kind of like, I always think of spiritual gifts. It's kind of like the first thing that I always think of dealing with this card. So I feel like being around this person and having this person in your life like really awakens and alivens and, just kind of makes your spiritual gifts basically come to life. Like it just makes them sparkle and shine and kind of rise up out of this box here. So it's like this person being in your life is a good thing. They help bring those gifts out of you that maybe somebody else wouldn't necessarily be able to. Yes, you want a little girl with him. I think at this point in my life, I just want a child. Like, I don't really care necessarily if it's a boy or a girl, just as long as they're happy and healthy. I'm good with that. I mean, of course, having a little girl would be great because then, you can do like, I could do like the Disney princess thing with her and, teach her how to do makeup and all that other kind of stuff would be so much fun. But I know for him, he would probably love having a boy because he loves Star Wars like a ton. I mean, he has like a man cave of all kinds of things. So I'm sure he would love to be able to like pass that down to somebody. And, he loves his video games too. So, but yeah, either way, as long as the kid is happy and healthy, that's what matters the most to me. Oh, and that's so funny. I pulled gifts and now we got spiritual growth. And I was just talking about like spiritual gifts. So I feel like this person in your life, he definitely brings, your spiritual gifts in a sense out and, brings them out in your life. And at the same token, like they also help you grow spiritually too. So yeah, this is a really good like spiritual connection here, really good spiritual bond. For some reason you see me with two. It's really funny, like when I was talking to my aunt and uncle about some of this stuff, my uncle said the most random shit. He was just like, maybe you'll have twins. And I'm like, twins don't run in our family. Why are you thinking that? I don't know. It was so random. Boys. Oh shit. You see. Sorry, I keep cursing. I have sailor mouth. That's okay. No worries. It happens. It happens. We all gotta let our mouths fly at some point here. Blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm gonna pull one more on this love reading thing here. This general love reading. And we have young male. So I feel like for some of you guys, whoever it is that you're connected to, he's a younger male. That could be anything, like depending on your age, maybe he's younger than you, or it could just indicate that he's young, like maybe he's like a millennial, that kind of age or something. I don't want to say Gen Z because I feel like Gen Z is too young. That's like teenagers basically. So maybe he's a millennial. But yeah, so he's someone who's probably on the younger side. Maybe he wants to drive a convertible or something. I don't know. Rachel, my mom is a twin and I have a twin boy and girl. That is so cool. That is awesome. Well, clearly twins run in your family, considering your mom is a twin and you have a boy and girl. That is so awesome. Yes, he is young. 1997 and you're 1993. Yeah, so he's younger than you. So like I said, maybe he's younger than you. So he's definitely young. He's a youngin', that's for sure. But yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here though, you guys. Let me double check my phone to make sure I didn't miss anything aside from Instagram messages from you and Niece. But in terms of payments, because I would feel bad if someone paid for something and then I was like, bye, and they didn't get the reading. So let me double check on that first. No, just chicken on Venmo, which was not my chicken, somebody else's chicken. And PayPal. PayPal is all good. All right. So I think we're good here for the night, you guys. And I've been on for just over 3 hours. So I've been on for a while as it is. Good night, Rachel. Thank you for coming on out. I always appreciate you being here for sure. And thank you guys, of course, for, liking this video and subscribing and sharing it with your friends and all that good stuff. It's kind of crazy because, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something, I put up a video on spirit babies and it's just been like blowing up and somehow bringing in new subscribers, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm on my journey here to try and get this channel at least up to 1,000 subscribers so I can get things monetized here and do super chats. So I definitely appreciate all the support that I can get in order to get that to that point. And then that enables me to help you guys even better, which is good all the way around. Thank you so much, Heather, for all the advice and readings. I will see you later. I will see you later on. You have a gift waiting for you on Instagram. Sounds good. I will definitely check that out later. Yay, I was hoping your subscribers were growing. Yeah, well, it's really funny because sometimes it's like I sit here and I do nothing and they grow. It literally takes just like one video. And, there's some videos that I'll post and it's like no one will care about them. No one will watch. And then I posted this spirit baby thing and it's like I keep getting like new comments on it and new subscribers out of it. And I'm like, okay, people are really into the spirit baby thing. I think it's just sometimes it's just a matter of luck when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. You never know exactly what's going to stick and what's going to do something and what's not. So all I can do is try. But finally, I did actually record a brand new pick a card that I am going to make live tomorrow because I think tomorrow is the first day of spring and it is a spring pick a card. So it's going to be all about what you guys need to know for the season of spring, basically. So that I'm going to be making live and putting up tomorrow on the channel. So that'll be good and hopefully help with things. But yeah, so hopefully I can round that corner to 1,000 subscribers at some point. We'll get there. It's a work in progress. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good weekend. And of course, I will be here on Monday night for another live. And I will keep you posted if anything goes weird next week, considering my mom and I have to relocate for several days next week with the broken water pipe and everything. But hopefully everything goes smooth. We'll see what happens. But yes, I will be here Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, as always. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Stay tuned for the pick a card going up tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a good night. I love you. Mwah. Sending you lots of hugs and love. Keep sparkling, you guys. Have a good night. I will see you Monday.